Hey, hey! Look, I know it is a little bit late compared to usual, uh, but I thought that I would do a little bit of a, different stream tonight. So, we'll see if people end up digging this or not. Is it, right now it's just planned as kind of like a departure from my usual, type of stream. But used to be my bread and butter. So, we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Now, this is gonna be a TikTok call-in only stream. Hey, Grovis, good to see ya. Um, so we'll see if we get people in. I mean, I always got a pretty good amount of people calling in for this topic when I used to debate it back on my other account. So we shall see. Hey there, Lowen. Hey, sitting with you. Happy Pride. Hope you guys did something gay to celebrate. Hey, Agnostic. Hey, Boogie. You guys are always so quick to be on. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Even when I'm on at a different time, y'all are rocking it over there. Not as gay as you wanted. There's still time. There's still time. Put a little more gayness, and you'll be fine. This topic gets comical rebuttal attempts. Yeah. Yeah. Most people, they usually try to steer it towards like trans identities, in my experience, but maybe some people will just talk about queerness in general or, you know, being gay. Um, as someone who has collected multiple letters for myself, um, I'm down to talk about whatever. I do enjoy talking about the like scientific side of this because I do get a lot of people who come in here saying like, "Well, this is against science," and it's really not. Not at all. Ooh, Crovis, you should go to Pride if you got one near you. They're a bunch of fun. They're a lot of fun. I didn't get to go to Pride until I moved out of my family's house. So, uh it was very exciting when I did finally get to go to one. Happy Pride! Happy Pride to Kelly. Happy Pride to Hannah. Yes. The October ATL Pride. That was the one that I went. That was my first Pride actually. Cuz in Atlanta it's so hot that they do their Pride in October. And I was going to school in Atlanta. But it was fun. A lot of fun. Happy Pride, Crystal. Yeah, around National Coming Out Day. Yeah. It's so funny. When I was at my first Pride, I saw a student from my high school who graduated a couple years before me, and we went to like a religious high school that had a no gay policy. So we both kind of like shared a look, uh, like oh, to uh, what is it? Is it which denomination is not supposed to drink? Is like two Methodists caught in a liquor store? Is that the joke? Anyway, it was like that. Yeah. Oh well, Baptist definitely drank. Yeah, they had a no gay policy. It was if you came out as anything other than cis and straight, you would be kicked out of the school. Now there were a few times where they made exceptions if the kid went to conversion therapy. Um, so not great. And I know a couple of my friends had that happen. So fun times. But I'm a cheerleader vibes. Yes. Yes. I I wish their experience with conversion therapy had been as comical as in that movie though. Yeah, no, it's horrible, but it's real, and this was less than a decade ago. So, and I highly doubt that they have changed their minds since. I'll put it that way. I think it's the same denomination that isn't able to dance either. Well, see, we drank and danced. I mean, like, we didn't drink in church, but it wasn't, like, super taboo to drink that I know of. Me. Well, Jill, if you have something to say, you're welcome to request up. I do know who I am. Hey, Silva, good to see ya. Why should we provide foreign aid to homophobic African states? I don't think that humanitarianism should necessarily be based off of whether or not we approve of the morality of somewhere. Oop. Joel, I see you in here. I see you in here. Lurkin. It would eventually lead to humanity being doomed. Am I wrong? You are wrong. Yeah, you're very wrong. You need to explain to me how, like, bisexuality would do that, for one. People always forget. You commented Happy Pride? Oh, I didn't see it, and I always look for your messages. Damn. Happy Pride, though. It's not a small cup! Every fucking time. It is a normal size. I'm just gonna start using different cups, and then you guys won't be able to laugh at me anymore. Okay? Anti-theist, no. It is a normal-sized cup. Isn't starving them out a way to make them reverse homophobic policies? Yeah, that's inhumane. Again, humanitarian aid should not be dependent on whether or not we agree with the morality. Like, because, first of all, not every person in a given country is going to agree with, like, homophobic legislation. There are going to be queer people in that country. So you're going to starve queer people because they happen to live in a culture that doesn't like queer people? How to make that make sense? Make it make sense. A Dixie cup? Hey. No. If I were... I was gonna say no, I'll drink out of a diva cup, but let's not go there. Let's not. Oh wow, someone posted John 3:16 in YouTube chat. Wow. You mean all the LGBTQ fighting for Palestine isn't the smartest thing? No, in fact, that's not congruent with what I said, because I just said that our humanitarian effort to somewhere shouldn't be dependent on whether or not we agree with their morality, and there are going to be queer people in that country, so punishing and or starving queer people for simply existing in a culture that doesn't like queer people makes no sense whatsoever. Silva sent a super chat to say Happy Pride Month with a rainbow of hearts. Thank you, Silva. Happy Pride? Fuck yeah. Ugh, it is great, isn't it? It is the time of year where we get to hear people complain about how, oh, gay people get a whole month and the military only gets a day, as if they don't get multiple holidays. And there's also Military Appreciation Month and a month for military families. They just don't choose to celebrate it. Whoop. Happy Pride! You're allowed for all caps for that. Whoa. Okay, you disappeared quick. Damn, Matthew. We had a guest come up for like 1 second and then they dropped. They got raptured? Yeah, must have been. Must have been. Happy Pride Month, Nora. Oh god, Jamal. Joel. He's probably gonna say yes, and I don't know if any of us want that. Dr. Joe, yes! Hey Max, good to see ya. It's a normal sized cup. You don't know him? Oh, he's... I debated him on my old account, which means he's been around for like close to 5 years doing this shit, and his arguments have not changed one bit. He is He's been banned at a lot of other creators' streams, just because of he's super disingenuous. He will talk over you and say bullshit. Just very intellectually dishonest. Have I seen The Boys TV show? No, I watched the first episode, and there was a certain scene that just made me a little too uncomfortable because it reminded me too much of something that happened to me. So I was like, nope, I don't think I can keep watching this. And I get that it's supposed to show how horrible it is, but just not something that I was comfortable continuing to watch. Average Christian, yeah. Yeah, don't know why anyone gets so worked up over what people do with their fun parts. Fucking right. It's so strange to me. I see so many people who are just so worried about, like, gay people existing in public. Egads. Ugh. Hey, Ron over on YouTube. I got turned into mist by the Flash. Yeah, I took one step off the side of the road. Some people have more than one. The cool ones do. Pearl clutching? That's true. But hey, if they're gonna be clutching those pearls, might as well give them a pearl necklace. You know what I'm saying? Do you? But it seems that we don't have people bold enough to request up yet. I might slightly alter the prompt. I was thinking about making it the Bible could be gayer. I'll put up a poll. If you think I should change it to the Bible could be gayer, then do a happy face. And if you don't think I should change it to the Bible should be gayer, I should keep it how it is. Put the sad face. So happy face to change, sad face to keep. Okay. Okay, a lot of people. Okay. Wow. Immediately. Just so very clear. Alright. Alright, I hear you guys. I don't think I even need to finish this. We're halfway through and it's like, yeah, it's 17-1. Is it just because it would make Christians more mad? Because I so support that. Is that straight? No? I hope not. Get it? Okay, yeah, it's like 20-1, so we're gonna make it this. We'll scooch this little heart somewhere over here. Yeah! Let's go, instead of could, we'll go should. Yeah, it should be gayer. It's not gay enough. Like, they really should have worked harder on that a little bit, you know? Chat is usually half chill atheist and half transphobic, homophobic, ableist, racist Christians. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. But we're rocking it. And then let's shift this over a tiny bit. Alright. Bible should be gayer. Lexi, your quest up if you want. If you got something to say about it, come forth. It is called the Bible, right? What do I mean by gayer? More gay. I will not elaborate further. Everyone in the Bible was gay? I agree. Jesus was a power bottom? I agree. That's pretty gay. Oh boy. Hey, can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Yeah, Fred, 26. He, him.
Alright, what is your religion or lack thereof?
Uh, Secular. I'm here asking about
So you're not asking
sanctions.
about the topic?
No, this is what you said
Alright.
earlier, where you said we.
Have a good evening. Sorry, I only let atheists and agnostics up on Sundays. Also, I made my position clear to you like 5 times, so I know you're just trying to start trouble. Hey, hey, Amanus. Fellow goatses. Is that the... I called the people who watch streams the Bionic Barnyard, but I know that is a mouthful, so maybe goatses is a good one. I don't think I'm gonna take criticism from anyone who uses the phrase the Browns and the Blacks. Yeah, I'm just not gonna take criticism from someone who does that shit. So we're not gonna be racist in my comments, Fred. As long as it isn't goatsy. Maybe goat yay. Just didn't have to cut me off. It's not how I actually... Oh, that's not how... It's fine. Why should it be? Because it's not gay enough. Because it's not gay enough. Chris, this is literally the first chat I've seen from you. Too scared to answer my questions that I didn't write and send. Oh, okay. Hey, party peoples. What's up, Matt? Hey, Colin. Good to see ya. Guest box is open. Hey, Peg the Patriarchy. Welcome in. Someone needs to write a Ruth lesbian fanfiction right now. The story itself is pretty gay already. Any good jokes yet? No. Gays get scared easily. Ha! No punctuation! I've already drained the cup. It could be even sexier. Well, yeah, this would be a 2-for-1 problem solver. Hey, Christina. Write your own gay book. Alright, I'm gonna rewrite the Bible, and, let's just say some parts I'm gonna keep, like Jesus getting nailed by a bunch of Italian dudes. I mean, Jesus has been edging us all for thousands of years, and we're all waiting for him to come again, so... Whoa, thank you, Happy Heathen, for sending the flow state. That is cool. I don't think I've ever seen it, like, animated like that before. Rad. Jazzy, I see what you're trying to do, but I would just unironically shout out gay boners. Like, you don't have to trick me. I'm all for gay boners. Definitely pro boners. Woo! Pro bono. Yeah, we call that shit pro bono in here. Lucy, Lucifer the Goat. Yeah, I can see that. That's one of the ones I do like that one. I like Psy a lot. Like Cyborg. I like Vincent Van Goat. All excellent ones. I know I need to name the goat, and I will name the goat. I'm indecisive because I'm like, what if I name the goat something and then I regret it? But I'll be honest, I'm leaning towards like cyborg, because I think that's really cute. But I don't know. Bible shouldn't be gayer, reason being the religion does not support and takes gay as a sin. Well, we can talk about it if you want. Chris, if you want to have a conversation, request up. Man, we are 20 minutes in and we have had nobody willing to come defend their beliefs. Fuck. That is rough, guys. The fact that everyone is, like, too scared. You know, I always... It seems that it's always those who are the gayest, like the most closeted, that are the most outwardly homophobic. That's what I typically observe. Hey, Kazak, thank you for the level of sparks. It's good to see you. Boner the goat? No, I'm not naming the goat Boner. No, this is my child. I'm not naming my child Boner. Yeah, happy Pride Month. What do you mean, boo? I'm not naming the goat Boner. Everyone loves a boner? Well, yes, but it's inappropriate for my little one. Roboner? Okay, that's pretty funny. Fuck. Not lesbians? Hey! Some lesbians are into trans women. They might love a boner. You never know. Very disrespectful to say that about the Bible. Oh, I'm so sorry that I disrespected the Bible. Everyone knows that it's such a good book the way it condones slavery and raping women and setting women on fire and killing babies and committing genocides. And that's only like a little bit of what it says to do. Never said a real boner? Hey. Hey, hey. And torturing horses, that's right. We're following the New Testament, you're focusing on the Old. Well, Jesus explicitly says in Matthew 5 that you should follow the law in the Old Testament. He reiterates that if you do not keep the commands of the old law, you'll be regarded as least in the kingdom of heaven. But also, while I've got you here,
that was in the Old Testament. We don't read the shit in the Old Testament. I'm not
this means
even
that
sure
Joel's
why
gay
it's still
now.
in print, but that's the dickish
Sorry.
guy from the Old Testament. Sure, he told you how to keep them slaves, and yes, he commanded you to kidnap babes. Only one small tribe were his personal things, but no one worships a god from the Old Testament. Do they? Do they?
Now, I have to ask about the subject-verb agreement in that song, because one small tribe were his personal fate. Would it be were or would it be was? Because is tribe one of the collective nouns where you use the singular or the plural? Because I know sometimes, like, it differs, but which one is tribe? I've never really, like, asked Joel. Because I feel like it should be was. Only one small tribe was his personal phase. But that doesn't, like, flow. I don't know. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. Subject-verb agreement. And my viewership just... Usually it's pronouns. Tonight, oh, plural nouns. What about lesbians that won't date trans women? That's their preference, as long as they're not devaluing the identity of the trans women by saying that they're not women. Being a lesbian doesn't mean you have to be attracted to all women. It just so happens that, like, all women are kind of hot. So usually people are attracted to all women. Send it back to him with a red line through. Hey, Joel. Thank you for like letting me use your songs on my stream. Really appreciate that. However, I am gonna have to deduct some points for grammar. I will give you an extra credit opportunity. You see me after class, all that good stuff. But yeah, we're gonna have to work on that. XOXO robotgoat. Go re-record. Oh fuck no. I had someone say I should do like a live performance of Joel's songs instead of playing Joel's songs. I don't think it would hit the same a cappella. I really don't. Cause like the funky beats are kind of what works there, right? You gotta have them funky beats. And sometimes it's just the background music in general. Like here, let me. Without that, not gonna be the same thing. See if YouTube has a karaoke version. I'll bug Joel for the karaoke ones. Fuck it, we calling the mascot Roboner for the bit. No! It's not Roboner. It's not Roboner. Oh no. What have I done? Robot goon? No! No, not the Gen Alpha slang. My baby's ears. Bone rower, no. Divorce. Divorce. I'm just pinning this so I can say divorce. Unpin now. Row your bone gently on the stream. Let's do hymn karaoke. Oh. What sucks is some like worship songs are just pretty songs. I will not lie, I still sometimes get Oceans stuck in my head. The Hillsong one where it's like, Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. I get that stuck in my head because it was so popular. Ugh. Why does the Bible have to agree with me? 'Cause I say so. I say so, therefore Bible must agree with me. Sorry. What's your goal here? Someone asks. That's the goal now. That's the rule. Thank you, Jeremy Colin, for fucking completely dominating my vocal stems for the next year. Like anybody else, just occasionally like, what are we doing? Baptized in Jesus Christ. You're welcome to come up and defend the Bible if you'd like. Yeah, I also really want someone to request. I can't really make anyone. Yeah, what are we doing? Where are the guests? Why are Christians not requesting? That's the rule. Yeah, the Bible is gay. It just should be more gay. Is hell going to be hot once I get there? Woo! Someone asked if I'm Mexican? No. Full penetration scene between David and Jonathan? That's what we're missing. That's what we're missing. Solamente hablo un poquito de español y tengo un acento de Argentina y un poco de España. Mi maestra era de Argentina. Mm. Louis C.K. is. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. Hey, yo, that's right. Let's go back to ancient Roman times where a king can be bi and his soldiers can sing a song about him being a bottom. We could still do that now if we weren't pussies. Hello? We could. Literally nothing is stopping us. ¿Qué estamos haciendo? Fuck, Spanish Tucker Carlson is a very funny thought. Chris, you are mouthing off a lot in comments, and you're not requesting up, so that kind of makes it seem like you don't actually believe what you're saying. You know, it's interesting. I got this disgusting comment. You know, I'll read it off just so people know that this is what Christian love is. Just think it's fun. So, someone commented on one of my videos, and they say, it's all going to come down to people not believing in him and believing. If you don't believe, that's fine. But just know, when the time comes and God comes back, what will you say in front of his face when he tell you, sorry, my child, but you're, wrong you're, of course, not on my list. There is nothing you can say. You will be in hell, burning, getting raped, skinned alive for eternity. Now, I'm not here to fuss or anything. I'm just telling the truth. I am a Christian myself, but for people to come on here and talk about Christianity and it's not real, that's just pathetic, and shame for y'all to do that and to let other Christians see this. And then they get pulled away from God because of y'all. So what I'm hearing is people are getting pulled away from God because of me? I'm glad he's not here to fuss, just to tell me that I'm going to be getting, you know, raped for eternity. Hey, Style?
Hello, how are you?
Doing alright. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Keith, he, him, and I am 38.
Alright, what is your religion or lack thereof?
My religion? Well, I'm Christian.
Alright, well, the Bible should be gayer.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that. What do you mean by gayer?
More gay.
Yeah, can you give me examples?
Yeah, like, maybe like a full penetration scene between David and Jonathan would have been nice.
Why would that make it better? Like, what are you trying to achieve?
I'd say for
Like, what's end goal?
For one, readability. Two, just making us more invested in the characters.
Readability is. Can we start there? What
Yeah.
makes it more readable to have
do you want to hear like
male on male penetration?
Yeah, do you want to hear like blank begat blank begat blank begat blank begat blank, or do you want to hear he put his cock inside of him? I know which one I would rather hear.
I'll ask my question again. What makes homosexuality? What makes that a betterment of the Bible?
I just gave you an example. Would you rather hear?
No, you just said you did not give me a reason why.
Well, yeah. Would you rather
Like,
have
what's
a
the
long
ultimate
list
goal?
of ancestry, or explicit male penetration?
Well, it depends on what your goal is.
I'm asking
right. So, what's your goal?
You personally,
with,
Keith.
No. Tell me what your goal is. Why
Readability.
would readability?
Yeah, like making people
What makes
want
it
to read
easier
it.
to read gay sex than
No, it's
than,
like what people
like,
want to
readability
read.
means like comprehension, right? You're talking about comprehension.
No,
The Bible is very.
I'm talking about people
Oh.
wanting to read it.
So you're talking about like okay. So what brings people to the book? You think that gay sex makes people want to read the Bible more?
Oh, it definitely would.
That's your point?
Oh yes.
Do you think that works in like in other
Imagine.
medias?
Ima-
Like okay, so let's imagine like
uh-huh.
Batman. So
Oh,
does
should definitely have gay
making
sex.
Batman, like, can we make Batman like the Dark Knight, right?
Yeah. Well, he's a power bottom.
Do you believe that gay sex in Batman in the Dark Knight trilogy, right? Do you think that gay sex in that would make it more like watchable?
Unironically, yes.
I think everyone would disagree with you.
No. Ones in chat, if you would
every
much
major
prefer
film critic-
if the Batman movies had
I
explicit
think
gay sex in them.
I
Ones in
think it's
chat.
pretty objective that every
Woo!
major film
Look at that
critic
chat.
would say if you have gay sex. Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like, if you just had like a gay porno in the middle of like the Dark Knight trilogy, that wouldn't even go to
Whoa.
the
No one's
theaters.
saying full porno. You can be tasteful about it,
Oh,
right?
so when do you cut it off? When do you? So then, what are you talking
Well, no,
about? I thought you said
you get an
gay sex
intimacy
was what we
coordinator in
want
there.
in our media
I'm
to
sorry.
make it better.
Does every sex
So what are you
scene
actually
is
saying?
every sex scene
So
in a
what do
movie
you
porn?
actually? So
So what
boil
are we
it down
doing?
and
What's
be
the
serious with
goal?
me.
What are we doing?
Yeah, so tell me what you actually mean.
The Bible should
let's
be
use
gayer.
the Dark Knight trilogy. Let's use the Dark Knight trilogy as an example.
Okay.
So you want more gay sex in the Dark Knight trilogy?
Yeah.
Okay, can you explain to me
You
how
should
that
have
would make it better?
chosen. You should have chosen a less homoerotic media if you
No,
wanted to
I
make
want.
this example.
I just want you to answer that
because
question.
this is like one
Why
that's
would
very
that make
very
it better?
easy.
We're talking about something that was nominated for many awards. It was already really great, and you think it could be made better with gay sex? And
Think
I'm
about
very
how
curious
many
as to how it
more
could be.
awards it could have gotten if there was
Exactly.
some
Can you
gay
explain
sex.
to me how and why? Or are you just being a troll?
No. No, I think.
Okay, so you're not
I
being a
think
troll.
just about every type
so
of
then
media
tell
should
me
have
why
more gay sex.
sex would make the Dark Knight trilogy better.
Keith, you keep asking me. and
Unless
then
you're
I start,
being a troll, you can
you
just
keep
say, hey, I'm
asking
being
me,
a
and then
troll,
when you
then I'll
when you
leave.
start when you start to you
All right,
ask
go
me a
ahead.
question and then
How does
immediately
gay
speak over.
sex make the Dark Knight trilogy better?
Keith?
Go.
Keith, you cannot keep doing that. All right,
Okay, I'm letting you go.
So, I think that if we do add in more normalized homosexual relationships and we can depict them in both platonic and sexual lights, it would be a good thing. It would help humanize characters. It would make the narrative more interesting to add that aspect into it because there's a lot of themes to explore about sexuality and desire in there. Also, I like seeing beefy dudes getting it on.
So, at what point would you put gay sex into the Dark Knight trilogy? Like, where do you think it could benefit from it? Since you feel so strongly about this.
Yeah, I would say like right after the hospital gets blown up.
And what kind of gay sex scene would you like envision?
You want me to detail it for you?
Yeah, I'm going to call you out on your comments and your
Keith.
statements. Yeah, I'm gonna push
Keith,
you.
why do you want to hear such a detailed depiction of gay sex?
Do you not want to answer the question? If you don't want to answer the question, I'll ask a different one.
I will answer the question. It's just interesting that you need the details of his gay sex scene.
Oh yeah, no, I'm all about it. I live
You're
in
all
San
about
Diego,
it.
homegirl.
Ew. What the fuck was that?
Wait, why is that gross?
No, just the way
Do you think living in San Diego is gross?
No, it's the way you said a home girl, as if you were currently standing in
homegirl?
the
Yeah.
store of a
Wait,
Cracker
do you,
Barrel.
Do you not find a term of endearment? Do you think it's wrong to address you with a term of endearment? I mean, I'll call you Miss and Mrs. if you want.
I'd rather you not, because I'm non-binary.
Well, then I used a term of endearment. Do you not like that term of endearment?
Well,
Why don't you tell me how you want to be referred to, and I'll
it
use those terms.
Yeah, you can call me Robot Goat.
Gosh. What do you want me to call you?
Robot Goat, the thing that's typed out on the
Okay,
screen.
Robot Goat, where do you want the gay sex scenes in
told you.
the Dark Knight trilogy? Where do you
Yeah,
want them?
so right after the hospital blows up.
Yeah, and you think that would make it better.
Oh, yes.
And explain to me. how
Again,
think
you should
that
have
would be
chosen a
better.
less homoerotic piece of media.
What? Wait, why? No, I want to choose the most homoerotic piece of media. Because
Well,
it's
it's not-
already
well,
so
certainly not the
homoerotic, and you want to add
most.
to it. And I'm so curious as to why you would want to push it further.
It's definitely not the most homoerotic because there are.
Well, you just said it was extremely homoerotic, and I'm
yeah,
kind
but
of
that doesn't
agreeing
make it
with
the
you.
most.
Okay, well, maybe I was hyperbolic with that statement, but regardless, it's very. So therefore, you chose to say after what scene?
After the hospital blows up.
Yeah. So the hospital blows up. We
Mhm.
have the Joker like walking out of it, right?
Yeah,
That
keep
scene.
going, keep going.
Cool, cool. And then he like meets up with a gay lover. Is that what you're saying?
No, it would be Batman.
Oh, Batman's not in that scene though.
Well,
We're talking
yeah,
about
neither is
the
gay
cameras
sex,
on the
Keith.
Joker.
Neither is
Cameras
gay
on the
sex,
Joker.
Keith. We're
Well,
adding some stuff
I'm
here.
I'm curious. But these are all men though. So we have the camera
Yeah.
on the Joker as he's walking out of the explosion. Where's the gay sex?
Where's the gay sex? Okay,
So yeah, so we have the Joker leaving the hospital with the explosions behind him. Where's the gay sex? Where would you put the gay sex?
all right, we cut back to Wayne Manor.
Oh, you're doing a flashback.
Sure.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so we do a flashback back to Wayne Manor. Okay, cool. So we're in Wayne Manor now. Go. Scene. Action.
Joker shows up at the front door. He knows what's going on. He rings the doorbell. Bruce opens the door. He's in a slutty little robe that's cut off like mid-thigh.
Yes. Don't stop.
Whoa, Keith.
Keep going.
What are you getting out of this now?
I'm enjoying your commentary.
I can tell.
I'm enjoying your direction. You're
Yes.
the director. Go ahead. Wait, no, don't finish the scene. Finish the scene.
Oh, there's gonna be finishing. Don't you worry. So Joker and Batman exchange a look, and there's a lot that goes unsaid between the two of them.
Ooh,
Right?
left up to the audience. They
up-
can debate. Yes.
But they know
Just
every
eye
single word that
contact,
the
right?
other is
Just eye
thinking.
contact.
Intense eye contact.
Yes.
And
Maybe
then
some
Bruce,
breathing.
Well, I assume they would be breathing.
Yeah,
And
but
Bruce
there-
looks
there's,
him
like,
in the
levels to
eyes
it.
and says, "Come in." Innuendo.
Oh shit.
Innuendo, right? Because he's gonna be in the end though.
Heyo, no
Yeah.
pun intended.
So he invites him inside. It's gonna be in a guest room that we haven't seen before, with this like magnificent 4-poster bed, canopy.
Oh, because he's got 20 rooms.
Of
Obviously,
course, there's rose
seen.
petals already on the bed, candles lit. He must have expected
All right.
him. That's why he's wearing the slutty little robe.
I'm gonna give you shit right there. Why are there fresh rose petals set aside? I
'Cause he was
feel like
expecting him.
that's a plot. I feel like that's
No,
in
that's
error.
why the candles are also lit. He knew that Joker would be coming.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Yeah.
Why? How did he know?
Don't
So,
retcon. Don't retcon.
it's a flashback. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, but I don't want you to retcon. Keep it within the timeline.
Okay. Well,
Keep it
it's
canon.
timeline as a flashlight. Okay. As a flashlight. Almost a Freudian slip there.
Are you? Yeah. Flashlight. Yeah. Go.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Hilarious, right? So then Bruce he's looking at the Joker and he says, "Time for you to see the Batcave."
Oh.
Yeah. Passionate kiss. Passionate. We see a bit of a fight for dominance here, right? Because they're arch rivals. They despise each other. So this is a power play. Who is going to end up on top? Literally. Yeah. And at first you think like, oh, obviously like Batman's gonna dom the Joker, but then it seems that Joker is taking on the more dominant role.
Interesting.
Yeah. In fact, Batman ends up bottoming. It's all tastefully shot. It's more tame than heated rivalry. But it's less tame than Deadpool.
All right. Well, I'm so happy we did that.
Me too. How was that for you?
I thought it was fucking hilarious. Yes.
So yeah,
It was
something like
beautiful.
that.
It was beautiful. It was off the cuff. It was off the cuff.
Something like that in the Bible, I think.
Okay. Look, I don't. All right. If I'm gonna be serious, if I'm gonna be serious now, we've had our fun. Yeah. I mean, sure. I don't think gay people are bad or wrong or none of that. The Bible should be gayer. I mean, I don't know. The Bible is it's just a history book. It's just people talking about the religions they believed in and the things they saw sometimes. And it's just a compilation of that. I don't think it should be more gay or less gay, quite frankly. I just think it should be what it is, and it just is what it is. Like, we build theology off of it. We understand a little bit about history from it.
Yeah, not a lot. It's not
I
very
don't think I don't think there's any way to change it. It's a 1,000-year book, roughly 1,000 years, probably less than that, probably more like 800. Yeah, I don't think it should be any different.
Well, we have manuscripts from like the 2nd and 3rd centuries. It's a lot older.
No, it's not. I mean, you can. Some scholars will push it back to 12, like BCE, and that's pushing it. Most would push it towards like the exilic period, and then like post-exilic.
But
It's really
if we date the birth of Jesus to be around like 3 to 5 BCE.
No, I'm saying from like Genesis to Revelation, we're talking only about 1,000-year period, and more
okay.
likely
I'm talking about from when it was initially supposed to have been written to now. You're talking about the timeline it took to write it.
Yeah,
we're talking about different things there.
Not the writing of it. I would say compilation. I would say maybe like 800 years. Like, and I know some scholars push it to maybe like 12 before Common Era, but like I wouldn't. I agree with those that are like who speak to the fact that it might be more like exilic and like post-exilic. So that's 700, 800 like kind of timeline BCE. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think somewhere in there could have been more gay sex.
I mean, David may have had some
With
interesting
Jonathan?
experiences. You know, I mean, have you read those books? Like,
that's my number one place where I would put a gay sex scene.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of a little bit. There were moments that
Number
are recorded.
2, Jesus
that
and
they
Judas.
have locked eyes and kind of loved each other. Wait. What's your number 2? What's your number 2?
Jesus and Judas.
Jesus and where?
Well, here, let me first say this is an actual true thing. They were number 2 on the list of real person fiction couples on AO3 for I think last year or the year before. Number 1 was Dan and Phil. Number 2 was Jesus and Judas. If I had to choose anywhere, I would say before Judas betrays him.
What? Just because they were kind of intimate a little bit? Yeah. No. I mean, I'm not denying that, but like.
Well, that makes the choice to like kiss him to give away who he is like that much more interesting.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Because it's a thing of endearment, but also it's like we've already shared this intimacy. But also it is a betrayal in itself. That would cause like an intense internal struggle for Judas. And yeah, they should just go at it.
They should just embrace each other.
Carnally.
Honestly, for me, it's really just the David thing. And like more of it, like I just don't agree with that. I think you keep the Bible the way the Bible is, and I think you pull interpretations from it, and then have your fun. It's your source material, and I've seen numerous ways of interpreting the text to make it less gay, more gay, or not gay.
I was going to say,
like,
there's
whatever,
also a way to say that this just means that we should interpret it through a queer-friendly lens, but...
which I love, by the way. So like hermeneutics is one of my passions, and I love queer theory.
That is an original
Especially when it
sentence.
comes to that. What's
Holy
up?
fuck. That is like a brand new sentence.
What sentence? Which one?
Hermeneutics is my passion and I love queer theory.
Well, that is something we say all the time. Are you kidding me?
Who?
Are you familiar with? Are you fucking
We?
A&E biblical scholar? Are you familiar with ABH Bible? Aaron Higashi? He's on this app. He does queer theory a lot. Like he talks about that. He's a big hermeneutics scholar.
No. Right.
PhD. He's awesome. Wait, what? Are you not familiar with how hermeneutics works? There's queer theory. There's black theory. There's all kinds of different kind of hermeneutics, and
Yeah, I
they're
just
all
don't
amazing.
typically hear people say that like hermeneutics is their passion and they love queer theory in the same sentence.
Anybody who. So what I love about queer theory when it comes to hermeneutics is that opposite way of looking at the Bible than I was raised as, and that I was accustomed to, and that I learned the Bible with. So it's such a juxtaposition. It's such a new way of perceiving the Bible. So maybe it's, on the forefront of my brain when I'm reading the Bible. But when I read queer theory in regards to hermeneutics, it's like a totally new way of reading a text that I've read 100 times over. And I find that so interesting. Like I've read black theory when it comes to hermeneutics. I'm pretty used to that. Queer theory was so unique to me. Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun with it. Like I thought it was great. And that's actually kind of the direction that a lot of hermeneutics is going in, because queer theory is kind of being more respected. It's kind of being accepted more. And you have a lot of these PhD students writing their theses on this, and it's awesome. I just find it so interesting. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not a story that I commonly hear. There are still, like, you can say that it's, like, becoming more accepted. But I would say it's probably still not generally accepted.
Definitely on
among Christian
TikTok and in the
scholars.
evangelical church, it's definitely not accepted. Are you kidding me? They still believe that Genesis 1 through 11 is literal history. Like, but get into the nitty gritty, get into actual real, like, like Christians who are actually scholars. Like, this is par for the course.
All right. Playing on a course I haven't ever seen before.
Because you're on TikTok too much. Open up a damn book.
Aw, me, Reed? There's not enough gay porn in there.
Can you name a single modern day biblical scholar who is actually like not an evangelical? I bet you cannot name 3. And by the way, you should open your mind. If you think that everybody's an evangelical in biblical critical historical studies, like, you're crazy.
Oh,
there are 2 on this app that are hugely famous.
Oh,
Dan
yeah.
McClellan and Aaron Higashi, like hugely famous. Like, one of my favorites too. What's his name? Shoot, I'm forgetting his name right now. He's the dude who does all the disappointed Jesus stitches. Jesus disappointed. Oh, Kevin Carnahan.
Not familiar.
Oh my gosh. So Aaron
I
Higashi,
was not on
Kevin
TikTok
Carnahan.
enough. Too busy reading books.
Obviously, you're not reading books, because at least not on the subject. Yeah, no. I think you're only reading books from desperate evangelicals and not actual critical historical Christians.
By desperate evangelicals, you mean horny gays writing smut, perhaps?
So what's your deal? Are you just really mad at Christianity, or you're mad at evangelicals?
I like critiquing Christianity and evangelicalism.
So is evangelicalism your focal point? Or Christianity in general?
Christianity in general, but since I was raised evangelical, it's what I know more about.
Okay, cool. But are you against somebody being a Christian that's not evangelical? Like, for me, for instance, I'm a Methodist, right? Are you against that as well?
You don't consider Methodists to be evangelical?
No, evangelicalism is different than mainliners. Mainliners are not evangelical.
See, I've only ever heard one other person give that argument, and they just kept saying like, "Well, I'm a Wesleyan," over and over, which I guess is their way of trying to say like Methodist.
Well, I mean, Wesleyan is kind of a it's a way to view the Bible. It's a way to view Christianity. Sure, Methodism falls under Wesleyanism. Yes.
Yeah, I've just never
But
heard
I mean,
anyone use
like,
the term
mainliners,
besides...
mainliners are different than evangelicals. They hold very contradictory beliefs. Like one of the big one, the big one. So the big one would be that evangelicals hold to like biblical authority, inerrantism, blah blah blah, whereas somebody who's a mainliner would say, hey, the Bible can be wrong sometimes. It's not infallible. It's not inerrant, right?
Well,
so that's
about contradictory beliefs.
huge
Can
difference,
I
right?
ask you a couple quick questions to see if you also have contradictory beliefs?
Oh my gosh, yeah, of course.
Do you think that God is all loving?
Yeah, of course.
Are you a universalist?
I am.
Well, that's good. So even if I say like, fuck God, he's a piece of shit, I hope he burns in hell, I still get to go to heaven?
Yeah, that's what a universalist means. Do you know what it means?
Just clarifying.
I'm just curious if you know what it means because you asked a silly question.
I'm just clarifying.
Okay. Do you have another question?
I mean, just
That's
I was
less
examining
dumb.
that belief. You don't have to be mean to me.
I mean, you were kind of mean to me to ask me that question. Obviously, that's what a universalist believes.
Well, you've been an asshole the whole time you've been up here, Keith.
It's like saying, okay, look, if there's a room of 10
You've been
people,
talking over me, and you've been an asshole this whole conversation, and you're mad
Okay,
that I
then
asked you
I'll
questions to
tone it
clarify your beliefs?
Okay,
Hello?
that's not a clarifying belief. That's just asking the same second. That's asking the same question.
You would be so surprised how many people
asked the
say...
same question
You'd be
twice.
so surprised
That's
how
not
many people
clarifying.
say God is all loving and are not universalists, Keith. So
Yeah, but
many
you asked the
people
same
hold
question
that to
twice
be
me.
true.
I'm just kidding. Okay, then I'll move past it. I'm sorry. I'll admit wrongdoing.
I didn't know what your belief was. That's why I asked. Hello.
Yeah, but a universalist obviously believes everyone's going to heaven. And then when you say some stupid stuff about God,
And
I
now I've been
still believe you're
restricted.
going to
Damn.
heaven. Yes.
Stupid stuff about God. Yeah, I just don't
I
think...
still believe you're going to heaven because I believe all people are going to heaven, even the people who say stupid stuff about God.
I think what I said was like the truth and accurate about God.
No,
he is
you
a piece of
don't.
shit in the
It
Bible.
wasn't accurate at all. Yeah, well, the Bible is not inerrant. It's not infallible.
When
So
people
the
say
Bible
that-
does not portray a perfect view of God.
When people say that, they generally mean that they pick the parts of the Bible where God is nice and they like those and those are real, but they don't like the parts where God is
Yes,
not nice.
because the Bible is not the like dictated word of God. It has human hands in it.
Yeah, but why is it that the parts written by human hands that you like are the ones that are real, and the ones written by human hands you don't like are
I
not
believe
real?
in ones that are logically and philosophically sound. No, trust me, we do a deep dive into the Bible. I don't view the Bible as this inerrant and infallible word of God. And anybody who does is just, they're wrong, first of all. I'll give you an example, right? Anybody who says that the Bible is infallible, who killed Goliath?
I mean, yeah, you don't have to. I know that
So,
there are
like,
contradictions in the Bible, but what I'm
yeah,
asking
tons of
you
contradictions.
is.
So obviously, anybody who says that is immediately wrong off the bat.
But what I'm asking you is, how do we determine what would actually be worth listening to and what is not divinely inspired?
Beautiful. It's an amazing question. Thank you for asking. The thing is, you have to approach the Bible the way that it is actually written down. It is just people's depictions of God and people's depictions of experience, and also some historical data about God. That's all it is.
Okay, so it's people's belief about God. So again, why would I believe any of it's worth listening to? If all it's demonstrating is
because
that people believed in God, there are plenty of religious texts that indicate that plenty of people believed in plenty of gods.
and I don't deny them. I just we don't know God. We're human beings.
But why are you
How
Christian,
could we ever
then?
know God? Why? Because it works for me. Because it makes a whole bunch of sense. Because
So it makes sense to you.
It operates well within my life. And I also like the way that it speaks about who God is. That he came down here, walked among us, and then suffered, and then gave himself up for things that we did wrong. I think these are all beautiful motifs.
Why is that
And
necessary?
I like them. I didn't say they were necessary. I
No,
said
why
this
is
is what
why
happened.
is Jesus dying necessary?
I didn't say it was necessary. I just said these things happen, and I
So
like
God
them.
just did it for fun.
Well, fun is a weird way to say it, but yeah, he did just do it.
Because
Yeah,
could he
he
have?
did
Could
just
he
do
have?
it. I mean, God
could he
could
ha-
do anything he wants, but he
Could
did
he
do
have
it this
forgiven
way. I
us
think that's even
without
more
Jesus
amazing.
dying?
Well, I don't think he. Wait, what? That
Could-
was kind of a loaded question.
Could
he
God have forgiven us without
He could have
Jesus
forgiven
dying?
us any way he wants to.
Okay,
He
so
did it this way
so why do it through brutality and
because he.
violence?
I think that's the most amazing part of it. He suffered the way we
The
did.
brutality
he
and
actually.
violence. I
Well-
think the most beautiful thing would have been to not
No,
let
I think that's a
anyone
beautiful
suffer
thing
rather
that
than
God
cause
came
additional
down.
suffering.
Here's the thing. I love the fact
I think
that
the most beautiful thing would have been to have no suffering for anybody, not to induce more unnecessary suffering. I don't find that beautiful.
God didn't do any more unnecessary suffering. What are you talking about?
If Jesus didn't have to die to forgive us, then that is more unnecessary suffering.
Wait, no. He wanted to feel it. He wanted to experience it. I think
It's
that's
still
an amazing thing.
unnecessary.
I agree with you that it's unnecessary, but he chose to do it. Lots of things that are
Okay, so
unnecessary,
you
but
do
he
agree
chose
that it
to
was
do it.
unnecessary.
Yeah, of course. And that's what's amazing about it. If it was necessary, he would have just been following an algorithm, right? He chose to jump out of that and do something very different.
Yeah, to me
That's
like
amazing to me.
No, to me that's like when people
Okay.
do like
Tell me why
poverty
it's not.
tourism and they're like,
Yeah,
oh wow.
It is kind of a poverty tourism, but he actually died. He got crucified. He got tortured. He didn't just poverty. It wasn't just like he was doing a TikTok. Come on. He literally got like tortured and whipped.
The way you
And then he was
proudly
put on a
said,
damn
yeah,
cross.
it is like poverty tourism.
But he didn't do that. He actually was quiet, and everyone else talked about him. It's not like he posted it on his live.
He's so
And
quiet that
he
he's
shut
so
He
he's
shut up.
so quiet that he demands eternal worship and has a book about it that billions of people follow thousands of years later. That's how quiet God was about this sacrifice. If universalism is true, Jesus'
Okay, so he
sacrifice was
doesn't
not,
demand worship.
was
Where are you
not
getting that from?
necessary, then God just did this to try to bring attention and worship to himself. If he were truly all-loving and he didn't have
Okay,
pride or an
look,
ego, he would not require us to know about or worship him
I
whatsoever. So this was a nothing but an ego move on God's part.
Okay, so it obviously isn't, and it wasn't because he didn't write a book. People wrote books about him. He just came down solo, suffered, taught what he taught, and other people wrote books about him. Okay? That is the history that we have with God. Then he got tortured, then he died. So what are you talking about?
Well, first of all, he came back after he died, supposedly, right?
Just answer my question.
Yeah, so I want to make it clear. Plenty of humans have been tortured and died and didn't come back.
That has nothing to do with what God did.
So it's not like the ultimate sacrifice. God just decided to take a strange
Will you
weekend
respond
vacation.
to what I said?
I am responding. It's just the fact that
You
you
think it
can't
was
stop
a
talking for more than
vacation
5
to
fucking
be-
seconds, Keith. Oh my god. Shut up a little bit, please. I'm already restricted for fucking harassment and bullying, so shut up for a couple seconds while I talk. God did this not out of necessity, purely out of wanting attention for himself. He could have just, from heaven, forgiven us. He could have,
Can you give
at
me an
any time,
example of what
I can
that
give you an
means?
example of you shutting the fuck up. He could have forgiven us at any time without having to send Jesus down. He could have not had
Can you
this entire
explain-
fucking book written, and he knew that people would write this book. He told people to write a lot of these things down, specifically, especially in the Old Testament. So, Keith, I'm gonna keep muting you. The longer you keep trying to unmute and keep talking, the more times I'm going to continue to talk and mute you. I am deliberately going to talk longer, so it is longer before you get to talk again if you keep unmuting and talking over me. So God would have known that people were going to write this down. He did this in this specific way so that people would write this down. And it was purely just a narcissistic move on his part. And you can say that you don't believe in any of the parts that are like logically or theologically inconsistent, but there's just atrocity after atrocity in the Old Testament. God is not the good guy of this story. He tries to set himself up to be, but he's not.
Why do you keep bringing up the Old Testament when I've talked to you about the fact that that's other people writing about God?
Well, you've talked to me about it, sure, but Jesus says to follow the law of the Old Testament, so I'm just doing what Jesus said.
Wait, did you say that? Or did a book written by someone else quote Jesus? Yes or no?
Well, here's the thing. I don't believe Jesus said any of the stuff in the Bible, but the Bible
So then
presents
why
Jesus
did you
as
make
saying
that
that
point
stuff
in
in
the
the Bible.
beginning?
Because the Bible...
Wait, so you don't even believe in your own point.
I'm an atheist!
So then
I
why
am a
are you saying
fucking
that point? So you don't believe in what
atheist.
you just said. So
You
you don't even believe in what you
dip
just said. So would you give
shit.
me a point you actually do
I
believe
do
in?
not believe
So you
God
don't even believe.
exists.
So you don't
Why
even
would I
believe in
believe the Bible if I am an atheist?
So you don't even believe in the point you just made.
I don't even believe in God. How
So
what a
then
novel
why are you
concept.
even having this conversation? You're just a retard.
Okay, well that's a fucking slur. So
Have
why'd
a
you feel
fucking good night.
why
you
did you
fucking retard, dude.
Why'd you feel the need to use a slur, Keith? Oh, you left. I was gonna give you a chance to correct yourself, but I appreciate the crash out. Thank you for dropping a slur on the way out and showing everybody else what a piece of shit you are. L for the slur there. Uh-oh. But you're also already pre-muted in chat, so I know you can't say anything else. Uh-oh. Eat a bag of dicks, you sucked. But can I get a little bit of credit for that fully improvised Batman sex scene? That was off the dome. Off the fucking dome. Yeah, fruits of the spirit. Absolutely. That's what we're seeing. You want more of the gay Batman story? Tune in next stream for more gay Batman. Jamnik says, if there was a gay scene in Dark Knight, it clearly would have happened on the school bus leaving the hospital. The Joker and henchman running a train on reporter Mike Engel, Anthony Michael Hall. Thank you for the super chat, Jamnik. You clearly have more of a vision than I do. I can see it, though. Oh, thank you to Clayton for sending over 20. For having to deal with Keith. What an asshole. I appreciate that, thank you. He was an asshole. Keith was gay, right? He was really into that. He got really into that fucking sex scene, didn't he? Like, he started off like, oh, why would there be gay sex in Batman? And then it was like, well, Batman is a little homoerotic. And then it was like, I got restricted again. But then he was like, okay, go on. Go on. Where would it be? What would happen?
Hey there.
Hey.
I was just wanted to say I was scrolling through lives earlier today, and I was in this guy. I think he called himself like Dark Brandon or something, but he was a Christian, and he saw me in chat, and he started talking about how I was Robogoo's partner or husband, and how there was one time it was really disgusting how I walked in during a stream and kissed you, and it was just the most performative thing you'd ever seen, and it was such an example of atheism being so fake. Just like I said, like one thing in the comments I'd
So
never
he's a
heard.
fan?
Apparently so. Yeah.
Well, if you're in here, you'll be happy to know, Dark Brandon, that we kiss a lot. we do in fact smooch many a time. I don't even know which time in particular he'd be talking about, because you've done that multiple times before.
He said it was during someone else's stream, like I don't remember. I feel like he mentioned it like during Got This Engineer stream or something, but I could be wrong. Like it sounded like it was a while ago.
I don't remember you doing that during someone else's stream.
I don't particularly remember it either. He might just be making it up because he's a Christian and they do that sort of thing.
I know there was the time where someone was saying that like I could get a man if I changed my whole personality.
Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe that's what he's talking about.
There's been a couple times. Maybe it might have even
It's an
just.
old
It was.
one.
It could have. The way he was talking about it, it could have been something as small as me bringing you in a glass of water and kissing you on the cheek before I walked out. Like
A
it
glass
probably
of
would have
water
been
like
enough.
this.
Yeah, a little baby cup of water. A little EBBB baby cup. Little sippy cup for a little sippy tea. You want to put some chocolate milk in your cup? Are you gonna sit to the left of me in Jenga now? Good
What
joke.
if I just launched into that entire monologue?
That
You
would
are
be
not
probably
my
get you
wife,
restricted.
Gretel.
Everyone should go see Obsession. It was a really good movie.
It was a really good movie. Now I want chocolate milk. And there's no one here to bring it to me and give me a little kiss.
You can make your own chocolate milk.
Fuck you.
Wow. All right.
Listen, I've gotten so used to not having to get my own drinks. That's your fault. Blew your movie budget on back rooms, and that's why you should get AMC A-list. Look, I know people talk about this so much when they have it, but as someone who goes to see like 3 or 4 movies per month, it is a good value. It really is.
We do see a lot
This is not an ad, but if you have a bunch of AMC theaters in your area and you get their AMC A-list, you can book up to 4 movies a week completely free, including their like screen unseen showings and in any format. So if you want to go see an IMAX or 3D or whatever, still free. That's great. Oh, someone's recommending that I restart on TikTok. I might do that just because
It's probably a good idea because of the restriction, honestly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a TikTok restart real quick, but YouTube is gonna stay up. Is Obsession
I sail the
scary?
high seas,
Yes.
Colin. I sail the high seas a lot.
Hey,
But sometimes
buddy.
there's nothing like a movie in a theater.
There's certain movies that you just should see in theaters. All right, I'm gonna restart on TikTok. I will see you all here again soon. And if we don't have exactly 140 people come back, I'm gonna take a roll, like I'm gonna do roll call. And if you're not there, all right, be right back. Oh, good. Now I can do all the gross stuff I do when I'm not streaming. No, I'm kidding. Hey, YouTube, you guys are the only ones up right now. How does it feel? How's it feel? We're back. You mog the fuck out of God. Hell yeah. Oh, and God just joined the chat. Hey, Peg the Patriarchy's here, Crovis is here, Gold Star Atheist is back, Clever Potato is back, yes, yes, yes. Kaylin is here. It's like we're doing a census. I appreciate it. Spooky Doo is here. Caroline is here. Nora is here. Good to see you guys back. We're at 20. We're missing a lot. Ghoulie Inby is here. Ooh. Hello, hello, welcome back. We are back! Look, yeah, I'm also on TikTok, YouTube. I'm sorry. Hey, Guac. Thank you for the co-popular. I appreciate. It's good to see you guys back in here. I don't see Rat Soup yet, so that does mean we're gonna have to get divorced, but that is gonna mean we're gonna have to get married first. We'll figure it out. You figured out what the Hawk Tua version of the Holy Spirit was once. Oh. Jitter Free Jordan, thank you for the confetti. Happy Pride to those who do and don't celebrate. Happy Pride! Especially to those who don't celebrate. 'Cause they should. Oh, no. I'm not trying to set up a super chat goal. Thank you, YouTube. She had a cryptocurrency, the Hawk Tuah. I remember, and then she like disappeared from the face of the internet. She did like a pump and dump scam for crypto, and then just left. Agnostic says unacceptable. That was higher than I expected. Congrats on the engagement. Have I picked out a date and duration? He doesn't know yet. We love a good scam? No! But what we do love is TikTok Shop, right? Sorry, I gotta adjust again. We love TikTok Shop. And we don't love harassment. I love that we got one guy up here. And it just immediately fell apart, didn't it? Reboot goat. That's good. Good joke. Crypto people disappearing? Huh? They're vanishing. What happened to them? Joke. Good joke. Do I like green bean casserole? No, not really.
Hello.
Hello, Mezzo. We haven't gotten to talk today. What did you do to celebrate Pride today?
Oh man, I had so much gay stuff happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Earlier,
I
go ahead.
I did not do anything straight today.
Oh, so like no affection for your wife?
No, I told her not today.
Not today.
Maybe next month.
It's June, bitch. Well, earlier we had a guy in here, and he had me detail to him a very like in-depth sex scene that I would add to the Dark Knight trilogy.
Sure.
Yeah, like he insisted on
Okay.
more and more detail because he didn't like it.
He didn't like the original Dark Knight trilogy, or he didn't like your sex scene.
He didn't like the idea of adding gay sex to the Dark Knight trilogy. But I think I swayed him.
Is there
but then,
not already some?
not enough. It's implied. But he did slur and he left. Because he was upset that I said that I didn't believe that the Bible was true, even though this entire thing is an atheist live. But I'm just wondering, Mesa, if you were to add a gay sex scene to a piece of media, which one would you choose?
That's a great question. And I was thinking about like which movie has the best, like, most just normalized gay representation without it being like a gay movie. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like that's kind of an interesting question because when it's not a gay movie, they like really show it. I think it's actually the Buzz Lightyear movie. They had, no, I'm not joking. They had like
And no
a
controversy about that whatsoever.
maybe I missed it. I just figured people weren't paying that close attention, but I think there's like just a lesbian couple. I'm sure were people mad? I bet they were.
A lot of people were very mad about it.
I didn't know that, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like, and look, isn't she lesbian? You know, just like it just was the case, and it was fine, and it like that's how more of them should be.
I
So,
think
I would have done, but I would have done in the original Toy Story, Woody and
mm,
not Buzz though. It just doesn't seem like it would really
to
happen. But
infinity and beyond, am I right?
oh, that's the beyond gay stuff.
The beyond is the
Yeah,
behind.
yeah, yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey, everyone came back. I was telling people that I was gonna do a roll call if we didn't, because I had to restart, and I was like, if everybody doesn't come back, then you know, there's gonna be problems. I think if I had to, because Dark Knight wasn't my choice, it was the guests. If I had to add
Mm.
a gay sex scene to just like any movie in particular, um,
Does it have to be a Batman movie? Because I could do Lego Batman,
no,
or
but that's a
I
great
mean,
choice.
the original, like Adam West.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah, absolutely. It would specifically be in the scene where he has two phones and he's Batman on one and Bruce on the other.
It'd be Batman and Bruce. That'd be the couple that
That
it'd be like a just like a really like a Fight Club type of scene where he's having a like identity crisis and he's in love with himself, but they film it with two people,
yes.
you know? I
Yeah.
love this idea.
It's that, but they fuck. Um, let's see.
Fight Club.
Fuck Club. Renaming Batman to Fuck Club would be incredible. I'm trying to think of like. Oh, you know what? I would add.
You haven't, did you know that you haven't said it yet? You forgot to say it out loud? You were going to say something out loud and you forgot to. You want to say it first and then do the left.
Sorry. I
You
would
just got it
add.
mixed up.
I I would add it to Matt Walsh's documentary. Am I racist?
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't see it. Was he?
Yes. But he
Okay.
didn't think so. But it involves him going around to different like LGBT friendly spaces and like DEI spaces, and being like, "Oh, DEI is racism." I just think it'd be really funny if he just got his cheeks clapped somewhere in the middle of that as a
Yeah. He
complete non
probably did
sequitur.
during filming.
I'm
Like
sure he
during
did.
filming.
And he has
Yeah.
to keep this shitty wig on too, because for some reason he wears this like
Yeah.
shitty long wig because he's supposed to be like a liberal guy.
Get a better wig.
So just Matt Walsh getting bent over and railed in the middle of his weird pseudo documentary. I think that would be great.
Yeah, not enough even just like crime documentaries don't have enough of them, like enough representation. It's just something that the community should be working on,
Yeah, I
you
mean the
know?
representation we have there is not so great, right? Because it's crime stuff. So they're
Yeah.
like criminals. Um,
Straight white guys.
or his What Is a Woman movie. Because then it'd be bonus points if he got fucked by a trans woman and she just like completely domed him.
Mm. Now that's a woman. That's what he says at the end.
With that exact
That's
tone.
like it's like a Porky Pig. That's all, folks. Like the movie's closing, but it's
Bye to my
yeah, but it's
butthole.
his butthole getting like clenched around himself.
Or it gapes and Porky comes out of it.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, so many movies could have like benefited from some of that. You know, even just like uh, like ones that are like every buddy movie should have had a little,
Oh,
like
really?
like a road trip type, like Road Trip or Dumb and Dumber. Like
Well,
all these should have like one
I
moment.
saw I saw Joshua put in chat, like Lord of the Rings, Frodo and Sam. What are your thoughts on that?
Uh, I don't think it would have saved the movie. I would have been bored anyways.
I am also a big proponent of Frog and Toad were a gay couple.
I think that counts as bestiality, so I don't know if that like because one's a frog and one's a toad.
Is it bestiality for two animals to fuck?
Yeah, it's interspecies. Yeah, we're beast too.
We are also so anyone having sex
Yeah,
ever.
if a toad has sex with you, it has also done
Well,
bestiality.
I'm
So
not
have you.
I'm
Yeah.
not no, I'm talking about like if people does it, so it's just because it's a different species?
Yeah.
How do we know what their species were? Maybe their names were misnomers.
That's, well, that's a good point. Yeah, I'd have to go back and like get out like a like some sort of a textbook, a biology amphibious textbook, and like look at all the different like clue markers,
Mhm.
on or maybe they probably have an app now. What species is this? And then you
Mhm.
have to just be really careful to take the
I have a
picture
Frog and
where,
Toad book.
but if you have the picture while they're fucking, you have to just be careful to like
Oh, they're
highlight
not
just
fucking in
one and
this
then,
one. That's the sequel.
oh yeah, oh they haven't done that yet.
Listen, I played Frog in the Frog and Toad musical, and it is
What
very
about
queer coded.
there's a
Um,
musical?
yes, and I played Frog, and me and my Toad did take a Polaroid of us smooching because it was very funny. Um,
I played Willy Wonka once in a thing and had to do the rowers keep on
really?
rowing and they're certainly not showing any signs that they're slowing.
I can see that. Now,
Yeah.
did you see that I once put a list of songs, like musical theater songs, that I associate with you and Joel in Discord?
No.
I figured you hadn't. Um,
I don't know when like I'm not like I'm
that was
sorry, I
made
know
with great care.
this is like Pride Month and this might be not cool, but I don't know musical theater stuff at all.
You will not be forgiven. Um,
The one
ever.
musical I mentioned was Willy Wonka. Not doesn't count. It's just the Oompa Loompas who
I've
sing.
been okay. I was an Oompa Loompa,
I can see that.
but there is a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory musical.
Yeah, maybe I don't know if I was in the musical or if it was just we were just redoing the movie. It was like seventh grade. I was in Grease too, but I was just like Grease boy number three.
Grease Boy number 3.
Yeah, I didn't have like
I like the
a
part where they're like,
title.
"Hey, Grease Boy."
Yeah, I thought it was the main role. I was like, this whole show's named after me. That's
Grease,
great.
yeah.
And then I didn't have
Uh,
any lines.
well, I'm gonna share the songs that I picked for you, and I guess I can do Joel's too. But I want to know what chat thinks about them because I put them in Discord. Only like 3 people reacted. Um, so I'm gonna use a lot of terminology and names and shit that are gonna mean literally nothing to you. Um, and you're just gonna have to live with that. So I said Brighter from Has Been Hotel, specifically the 80s power ballad demo version. It's kind of a villain song, but I think you would do really well with it. Actually, there's several villain songs on here. Because I also put Pitiful Children from Be More Chill, but that's because the character who sings that, is a supercomputer that takes on the form of Keanu Reeves.
Okay, I find this insulting.
Keanu Reeves? I also said Let It Out from the guy who didn't like musicals because I figured you didn't like musicals. Um, and I also said for both you and Joel together, Blue from Heathers because that's a song about balls. And I said the Bro Duet because it has lyrics like no homo, but let's save money by sharing a bed. So sorry for all the villain songs and for comparing you to Keanu Reeves. I'm not actually sorry. Quick rundown for Joel. I said Space Age Bachelor Man from Ride the Cyclone, my Freeze Ray from Dr. Horrible, and You Will Be Okay from Hell of a Boss. Because I think he could pull off a Stolas voice. Anyway, this is the way that I think about my friends, is in terms of what roles would I cast them as. That is legitimate. And as someone who has directed shows and cast my friends in them, I actually do that. Ooh, Schley, you want a list? I will make a list for you, Schley. I will. Because I have a lot of theater friends, of course. So I'm like, what do I think they could play? Someone likes that I mentioned Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. I was in a production of Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. I was Charlotte. It was a lot of fun. I did a voice where it was very like high pitched and Mr. Davidson, blah 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 blah, and Tailed. I love that. It is time today. And Boleyn in 6? Yeah! I would love Boleyn. Dude, I would love fucking. Because, first of all, vocally, it's like the most. It's like the most attainable queen out of 6 for me. Because I'm sorry, but maybe Cleves, but like, I don't think I should be Cleves. But I can't hit Heart of Stone. Mm-mm. Welcome in. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Yeah, I go by Lizard Brain. I'm 28. I go by he, him pronouns.
All right, Lizard Brain, what is your religion or lack thereof?
I'm Christian.
All right, well, the Bible should be gayer.
Can I ask you why or like what exactly you mean by that?
Yeah, you're familiar with the Bible.
Yes.
It should be more gay.
So what does like more gay mean? Like include more gay characters or like include more gay storylines? Like
Yeah, I think more normalized depiction of gay relationships would be a good starting point.
normalized depictions of gay relationships. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my counter argument to that, right, would be at that point, why not make every single piece of fiction more gay, right? Every
You
book
think
that's
that's a
ever been written.
counterpoint? That sounds like a bonus to me.
Well, let me get through the thought process, right? So every movie, every book, every show, video game, literally every piece of fiction ever generated by a human being should be more gay. The reason why I think that is or should not be the case is
No, I
because
agree.
some pieces of fiction, some stories are targeted towards specific groups, right? Towards specific experiences. So to try and include a certain experience that may not be relevant to the story being told in every piece of fiction, it just doesn't really make sense.
Gotcha. So they shouldn't specify that Jesus was a man, right? Because if women read the Bible, they're not gonna relate to a man being the main character. So we should just make Jesus genderless.
I don't think that the his storyline or his themes as a character really have to do with him specifically being a man. There's nothing that he did that a woman couldn't do, right? And there
Really?
are many powerful female characters in the Bible.
There's nothing Jesus did that a woman couldn't do?
I believe so, yes.
Would people have looked to Jesus with the same amount of authority if he was a woman?
Hmm, probably not, probably not. But at the same time, if Jesus was a woman, still conducting the miracles that he was said to have conducted, then I think at that point they would have not really cared that, he was a woman.
They probably wouldn't have even wanted him doing all those miracles, because he, like, if he was a woman, he would have been like touching on men in public. That would have been seen as a bad thing. And if he had associated with prostitutes while being a woman, they would have just assumed he was a prostitute, which they did not do since he was a man. So yeah, him being a man definitely plays into the story. So just make Jesus genderless, so that way it can relate to men and women alike.
I can see that point. I'll give you that. That he does have advantages as being a man. But I still am sticking to the point that, including a certain experience in every story where it might not be relevant It just doesn't really make sense.
Okay, well, you're assuming it's going to be irrelevant.
Well, and I wouldn't say it would be irrelevant to the Bible specifically, but with that thought process, right, you're adding it to like every piece of literature, right, every piece of fiction, and it just wouldn't fit in every piece of fiction. Because
I mean,
at
I
that
think that'd
point,
be cool.
why not add why not make the Bible like more black, or like why not make the Bible more musical? You
Oh
know what I mean?
no,
Like,
my steak is too juicy and my lobster's too buttery.
I don't really
That
get
shit
where you're
sounds
going.
great. More
Oh,
representation? Ah!
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's some stories are for specific experiences, and if it can be added, great. But I don't see a reason to force it.
Yeah, well, just no, honestly, a gay black musical Bible is like the coolest fucking idea I've ever heard. So,
And honestly, I'm sure at some point it'll be in theaters. So
new from Andrew Lloyd Webber. Um, yeah, so everything that you just described sounds cool as fuck, and I don't see a problem with it.
cool, cool. Well, yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts on the topic. So appreciate you hearing me out.
Yep. You have a good one.
Take care.
Jesus Christ Superstar, pretty close. Oh yeah, he did lump the Bible in with fiction, which I do appreciate. We love unintentional honesty. What a genius. Yeah. Can't repent if you haven't pented, Eddie. That is right. Midnight Texas had a gay angel character. Some women who wrote True Blood. Even Lilith should have been a couple. Hey, some people ship it. Some people ship it. Someone just said, what a stupid fucking idea. Okay. Easy to hate. Bring your own ideas in then. Hey everyone, Rat Soup made a typo. I've never made a typo before. Therefore, it's okay to ridicule someone else. Ha! I make so many typos that my phone has started correcting words from like the actual word to my typo. But that was partly because my old phone. Oh, I got a new phone, by the way. Well, new phone. No chocolate milk! Sorry. Rat Soup just threatened to take away my chocolate milk. But my old phone couldn't keep up with how fast I would type. But yeah, I got a new to me phone. My dad upgraded his phone and gave me one of his old ones that he had that still kind of works. It is huge. That it is for size. So I'm not used to having a phone this large. But I appreciated that from him. And I got my little robot goat as the wallpaper. Which I've been thinking about putting the robot goat maybe with this color scheme onto things that are wearable. If anyone would have any interest in that. JK. Unless... We'll put a pin in that. Well, honey, Peachy, welcome in. Good joke. Jonathan and David were gay as fuck. That is correct. That seems to be the consensus tonight. And I agree. You know, David and Jonathan, even when I was like in middle school learning about the story of David and Jonathan, I'm like, that's kind of gay. Right? It was like the same reaction I had when I read The Great Gatsby. Like, there's something there between Nick and Jay. Just picking up on it a little bit. Just that little echo of like, it's kind of gay. Not shipping enough women together in the Bible? Well, that's because not many women are given agency in the Bible. Not even many women are named in the Bible, and the ones that are do not really have a lot of agency. Yeah. If Jesus loves all, he's Pan. There we go. There's some representation right there. The goat should be making a blood ritual sacrifice to God for healing? No, thank you. What other parts of the Bible do I find gay? Besides David and Jonathan? A lot of the stuff with Jesus is kind of, surrounded by all those men. They're all having dinner together, touching on each other's feet. Don't like that I did that after saying feet. There's no way Deborah was completely straight. I mean, closet was glass and had room for 13. Yeah, you're fucking right there. You're right there. Oh yeah, lots of anointing with oil too. I hope it was water-based. This joke is, it's oil, so it'd be oil. Comedy's hard. There is no laughing on Judgment Day. Well, there's no Judgment Day, so we'll keep laughing. There was an awful lot of men kissing men in the Bible. There should have been more. I am not in defeat. No. No, they gross me out. I keep my socks on a lot. I don't walk around the house barefoot, like, ever. I don't even like seeing my own feet. I don't want to see anyone else's. Oh, you think there's an extended edition of the Bible with more boy kissing? Robot Goat Tarantino. I'm not gonna be known like this. Listen, someone's pointing out that this goat is missing a foot. That's just a cute thing to show that it's a robot goat. Like the eye as well. It's a robot goat. You get it? It's a goat. But part. Do you guys get it? Do you? I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. We've had 2 guests. Bible Boy Kisser edition. Yes. We are not gonna have that. Oh, Agnostic, you got to it before I could delete that comment. Damn. Silva sent a super chat to say, what did Jesus take for his resurrectile dysfunction? CLS. It's like Cialis. It's a boner. It is that's legitimately good joke. I like that. I rate that one good joke. Oh, someone didn't get it. If I can explain it again. So it's a goat, but also robot. Do I think all the disciples did CrossFit together? It's just me reading bad puns now. I am like kind of unironically considering putting that like ops only, or like ops and limericks only, or ops or limericks only. We're just like, you can come up if you are an op or if you have a limerick to share. Because our last stream, it was very great when people just came up to share limericks. I appreciated that. So. Hello?
Hello.
Hey,
Can you
how's
hear
it
me?
going? Yeah, can I get your name, age, and pronouns, please?
I'm Gene. I am 21 years old, and any pronouns will do today.
Okay. Is it Gene with a J or a G?
A G.
All right, Gene. What is your religion or lack thereof?
I don't have a name for it. I don't consider myself traditionally theist, but I would not call myself an atheist or an agnostic. I'm inclined to a strange form of theism. I would have to describe in detail.
Well, in a word, do you believe that a deity exists?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that would be theism. So, Gene, the Bible should be gayer.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You ever listen to the Smiths?
Been a while, but I'm aware of them.
See, this is my perspective on things.
I feel like the delivery was so like Huey Lewis in the news, you know.
Sorry about that. Well, I appreciate Morrissey's approach to the discussion of homosexuality, which is that I just don't think that it needs to be named. I don't think that it needs to be named. I don't think that anything needs to be discussed explicitly. If there are homosexual undertones to anything, I think that this can be left up to interpretation.
Okay, so you can just put gayness in the Bible without pointing out that it's gayness, and that would fall into that.
So how do you propose? How do you propose that the Bible should be more gay?
Yeah, sure, just more normalized depictions of people of queer identities.
And what purpose would that serve exactly?
Well, wouldn't it show that God's love is for all, and that love is a beautiful thing that shouldn't be scrutinized when it's between consenting adults?
It's a bit like adding the black and the brown stripe and all the other nonsense to the pride flag, isn't it?
Nonsense. I would say that's not nonsense. That's just inclusive representation.
I think it's nonsense because the pride flag says enough already. The pride flag.
I don't think you
with the
get to
colors
decide
of
if the pride flag says enough.
What do you mean I don't get to decide?
Well, you're saying you think the pride flag says enough already. Okay, Gene, no one cares if you think the pride flag says enough.
I think that to an intelligent person it says enough.
Okay, then why do you share that opinion? It's a teacup for that one, damn. Thanks for the follow? Weird time to do that. Just like go to my profile. Just happened. All right, I guess we'll just wait. I mean, looking at the profile picture, Gene did pause their goon sesh to be here.
Can you not hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. Sorry about that. Um, well, okay. Here's where we were. The pride flag was designed in the first place to encompass all queer people, to represent all queer people and their cause against the heterosexual world.
It's not hold on. No. It's not against the heterosexual world. That's not what a pride flag represents. It's not opposition to heterosexuality. It is
Really?
embracing queer identities.
I don't know. I feel like it has to be opposition to heterosexuality.
Yeah, once again, no one fucking cares what you think it means or says.
Well, nobody has to care about anything that I think, but they're listening to a call-in stream. They're interested in what callers have to say about the world, or else they wouldn't be watching you.
Yeah, you're just kind of making like baseless
Let's be kind to one
claims.
another. Let's be kind to. No, I'm stating my perspective. You can challenge me. You can agree or you can not agree, or I can explain the reason that I think the way that I do.
Okay,
Let's
why
be
do you
kind
think
to
that
one
the
another.
pride flag is opposition to heterosexuality?
Well, because personally, I'm opposed to the heterosexual world. And I think that queer liberation is only possible once the notion of there can be no longer any such thing as a heterosexual.
What?
In that, well, that goes into my broader view on sexuality. We should probably keep to discussing the Bible. I really originally wanted to make a point about the pride flag, which is that in relation to the Bible, which is that it says enough simply by being a rainbow. It's sort of a redundancy to say that it also includes to have a stripe for Black and brown queer people, to have a stripe for trans people. This is all sort of implicit already. And so
I disagree.
And so when it comes to the Bible, so the reason that I make that comparison with respect to the Bible is that the Bible does not need to explicitly call for queer people to be treated well in order to get itself across, in order to concern all people.
It should. I'm not saying it needs to, I say it should. But back to the pride flag, yeah, so here's the thing. There was a clear lack of unity in the LGBT plus community, particularly in the United States, because this is where the flag, yeah. There was a fracture between, like, gay men, lesbians, and transgender people, primarily. Adding other marginalized communities, like, specifically onto the pride flag just shows that we've improved in, number one, the unity of our community, number two, the vocabulary of our community, because those are things that people might not necessarily have been able to define for themselves. Like the intersex flag is also commonly added. That's something that wasn't super highly acknowledged. So having these identities as part of the flag when they are historically underrepresented within the community is a show of unity and strength among queer people. So while it might not be absolutely necessary, it's certainly not a bad thing.
I think it's a bad time to waste. I think that it is a waste of time to go designing flag after flag after flag instead of making your position clear and letting the flag speak for itself that you've already adopted.
Okay, well, I hate to tell you, there's not millions of people across the world just sitting and making flags all the time. There have been, what, like 4 flag updates in like 60 years?
There are a lot of
wasting
flags.
time making different flag designs. And if they
hear...
are making flag designs, it's because it's something that they're passionate about, and that's the way that they are doing their advocacy. There are people like me who are having conversations for advocacy, but people get to advocate in whichever way they find appropriate.
Yeah, see, no, I don't agree with that. I don't think anybody gets to do anything.
You don't think anybody gets to do anything?
No. I think that there are right ways to do things and wrong ways to do things. But you know, if you want to hear my honest take about the pride flag, I would consider even the pride flag itself to be redundant. All that we really need is the red banner of communism.
I dropped it. That was definitely a troll. Appreciate the follow though. Because obviously a system like communism is completely separate from queer identities. Those would not be describing the same thing whatsoever. So it's very obvious that you don't actually believe what you're saying. And I don't really like talking to LARPers. So bye. Yeah, it was a very convoluted way to be a bigot. But that was just, yeah, a bunch of shit. Well, I hate that we finally got someone and they weren't fucking serious. Yeah, not saying we couldn't do gay communism, but it just makes no sense because those flags obviously represent very, very different things, like completely different aspects of society and identity. So to say that like we only need the red flag of it's just a completely incoherent point of view. Yeah, that just sounds like bigotry with extra steps. The Bible is super gay. David and Jonathan were lovers in the book of Samuel. I'm inclined to agree. Fartboy1526828363833 parentheses 2728 parentheses 33 parentheses. Were all the other fart boys taken? Like, he just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. He got up to like fart boy 1562684532331, and they're like, I gotta try another one. There's just that many fart boys out there. Hey, how's it going?
Hey man, I'm good. How's it going?
Going all right. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
G. But you can call me Fem. I'm over
Okay.
30.
What pronouns should I use for you?
I guess male pronouns, he, him.
Okay. You can see why I asked. Your name is Fem. That's kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're above 18?
Yeah, I'm over 30.
Okay. What is your religion or lack thereof?
I'm a Christian, a believer in Jesus, follow Jesus. Not perfect, but trying to press on him.
Gotcha. Well, the Bible should be gayer.
Oh, I like that is more of a proposition, right? And it's open to whether I disagree or agree. What makes you make that kind of proposition?
Yeah, I just think it'd be better if it were more gay.
Meaning you're trying to assume that or presuppose that gay is something which is good, nice,
Oh,
morally
absolutely.
acceptable.
Yes. Yeah.
Why
Very.
why do you think that on that path? I mean, I can tell you why it is not, but I think that should be the core of the debate, right? If gay is something moral or something which is morally acceptable, then if it is, then that's when the Bible should endorse it the more. But if it is not, then it's okay for the Bible not to endorse it, right?
Why would you say it's not okay?
Okay, I think my simple argument is the fact that being gay. Wait, I mean, again, this doesn't has anything to do with people's choices on how they want to live their life, right? I'm just saying what is more what is moral to do, what is morally right to do. I'm not saying that everyone is gonna do it, or people will still want to do what they want to do. So, but what I think there's a problem with being gay is I use a simple philosophy or simple metrics, and what that metrics is, I try to take whatever aspect of human character or nature, and I project it on everyone. And if it doesn't give us a better world, then there's a problem with that trait, right? Like, for instance, heterosexuality.
You're
If you
in a
project
cycle here. You're saying it's not good because it's not good for the world because it's
yeah,
wrong.
it's not. If we project it on everyone in the world, it wouldn't give a good result on the world, right? The outcome is gonna be
Okay, just because something is not, like, you can't say something is bad just because not every person should do it. Because, like, eating peanut butter is fine, but if you have a peanut allergy, you should not eat peanut butter.
No, those are amoral stuff. They don't have any moral imperative to them. I'm referring to actions that have some type of
Yeah, I'm
moral
not saying
imperative to them.
everyone like should be. I'm not saying it's like a moral imperative to be homosexual.
But you're assuming you're giving moral attributes, which you're saying is good, right? Good in some moral sense, right?
It doesn't mean everyone has to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The projection will be if
Like-
something is good, then you project it on the and everyone can do that thing. Then you project it on the world. It should give some type of better, or let's say most people in the world become like that. It should result in something good for the world, right? It should result in something better for the world, a better world, right?
I would again say not necessarily.
So it means something can be good, but not good, morally good or morally acceptable, but then it has an adverse effect if it's projected on the whole world
Well, is it
or
good?
most people in the world.
Is it good to give money to charity?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Would it be good if every single person gave all of their money away to charity?
Okay, now you're bringing something else which wasn't in the proposition. Is it good to give money to charity? Why should you now give all of your money? If everyone gives money to charity, it's a good thing. But all of your money is something else, right?
Well, why would you separate it by degrees? If it's good to give money, then you should just continue to give money to charity. So you should continually give money until you run out of money. So
Then you should have asked me a question. Is it good to give all of your money to charity? Then I would say no. Right. So then now you can now go on to make the next
so
next
you're
claim or the
specifying
next
it has to be a one-time behavior.
No, I'm saying I didn't say one time, but it shouldn't be to the point where you also cannot leave. If you give all your money, you also cannot leave, right? Which doesn't make it's not rational at that point.
Well, sure, but it is good to give money to charity, so how is it bad to give all your money to charity?
All right, because giving money to charity
Maybe
has an
because
aim.
there's
You're trying to.
nuance and things don't necessarily have to be done to the fullest degree by everybody to be recognized as good things. If you are a gay person, being in a loving gay relationship is fine. When I say good, I'm not using it in the sense that I think people ought to do it. I'm more colloquially using it to mean it's not bad. If you want to get into the deeper discussions, even though this is just like a silly little prompt that is to rage bait homophobes, which I think it's done successfully, we can use the definition of good. That means that it is a moral ought statement. I'm not saying it is a moral ought statement. I'm saying it's not bad to be gay.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you say it's not bad to be gay. Are you saying this from? Are you saying this and you say you're not making it moral? You're not saying it morally, right? Or are you saying it in some moral sense? It's not. Are you using more good and bad there in some moral sense, or how are you using it? Are you quantifying it as good or bad? In what sense are you saying it's good, or in what sense are you saying it's not bad?
Yeah, sure. So to repeat what I just said, I'm using good more colloquially to mean it's not bad to be gay. You can define that more just it being an amoral action. Again, this is a silly little prompt that I'm using to encourage discussion with primarily homophobic Christians who do think that being gay is something that is bad. So me saying that it is good is really just refuting that it is bad, when in fact, if I'm being more accurate, then I would say it is amoral to be homosexual.
Oh, it doesn't have any moral imperative to it.
No. Now, I would say that it is good to live authentically if you are gay. So it would be good to like be your true self if it is safe to do so. Like I think that people ought to do that, because I think concealing like your sexuality and your desires and not being in fulfilling relationships because you believe that it is wrong to be gay, that I would say is bad. And you ought not do that.
So in other words, you're saying the whole pedestal is not is aim is you're saying with some double tongues here, because in one side you're saying the gay act itself is an amoral act, but then in some other light it has some kind of moral imperative. Because the next question I was about to ask you is, are you saying gay is amoral, but every other relationship has some type of moral attributes to them, or are you saying every relationship has no moral attributes to them or moral expectation in them, like in terms of maybe faithfulness, loyalty to
Yeah,
partners and stuff like that.
so again, it's more about authenticity. Like if someone knows that they are gay and they conceal that and they remain in heterosexual relationships, I think they ought not do that. I think that it's not healthy for themselves, and I think it is not healthy for their partner for them to do that if they know that that relationship is not going to
Yeah,
fulfill that aspect of their desires.
okay, but again, this is people who are just by themselves, right? I'm trying to be authentic, right? And you're advocating for authenticity, right? Again, people have, and again, I'm saying not every authenticity seems to be is supposed to be promoted, because there are people who have weird sexual fantasy, like the PIF people, these people who do P5s, I guess you know what I'm saying, right? So this is their own weird fantasy or weird desire that for them is them being themselves. I don't think you advocate for somebody who has those desires to be themselves, right?
Being gay is not all about sex, and being in relationships is not all about sex. Gay,
But I think,
like gay couples, they can love each other.
but it's more defined with the sexual aspect of it. It's not. It's.
No.
I think it's more defined by the sexual aspect of it.
Not really, no.
Why not?
That's your perception of it, but
It's not. You can look at the dictionary definition. It's clearly even.
Yeah, but people
based
can know that they're gay
sexual
before.
interaction.
People can know that they're gay or that they're queer without actually knowing what sex is. I had a crush on girls before I knew what sex was. It is not all related to sex.
I agree with you that it has other aspects to it, but what I'm saying is fundamentally defined by sexual acts. That's what I'm saying.
I would
It's
disagree.
by itself is fundamentally defined by the sexual act of a same-sex copulation. That's how it's fundamentally defined.
No.
It may have other things.
There could be a gay married couple that never has sex ever. They would still be a gay couple.
Is it possible you can pull up the definition? I think you're working from a computer, right? Let me be sure that I will accept to be corrected. I'm not here to win arguments, so I'm just here to have more honest intellectual
You're
conversations.
claiming, like, let me ask you this: is heterosexuality all about sex?
It's fundamentally defined by sex.
Okay, so so people shouldn't be heterosexual either?
I'm saying, I think heterosexuality is the morally acceptable way to go.
Why?
Because I believe if you take heterosexuality and project it on most people in the world, it gives a good outcome.
Even for those who aren't actually heterosexual?
Yes, I mean, it gives a good outcome.
That's not a good outcome. That's not a good outcome if they are actually homosexual. To project heterosexuality onto them, that would force them into a life where they are constantly unhappy with their partners and they aren't with people that they're genuinely attracted to or want to build a life with.
True, I agree with you that some people, if you want to project certain things, if hypothetically, if you can project something on people who don't desire it, to most people in the world, you definitely project what is counter to people's desire on them, right?
Also, here's the thing. You're acting as if being gay is a choice that people make. So it's like you saying like having blonde hair, like projecting blondness onto everyone in the world. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not something that people choose. It is a way that they are.
True, and not every way that everyone is something that is normal, right? Again, it even holds for medical issue. There are people who are just born with certain medical conditions that you don't say, okay, this is the way they are, we just take them. No, if we can treat it, we treat it. If we can fix this,
you're presupposing it's a sickness. It's just.
I didn't say it's a sickness. I'm saying you said something. You said that this is just the way they are. I agree with you. Let's say somebody can just be gay.
Yeah, you compared it to people with medical conditions who need.
No, I'm
treatment.
saying I'm not saying
it's a sickness.
No, sorry, I'm not saying that it's a sickness. I'm saying that I'm addressing the fact that the way people are doesn't mean we should just let them be, or it's supposed to be the way they should be. That's what I'm saying. The way people are is not necessarily the way they should be. That's the point I'm addressing. That's why I'm using the example of sickness. There are people who are born with certain medical conditions, if we can handle those medications and treat them, we will not just say, okay, this is how they were born, this is their own way. No, if we can fix them and make them normal
Yeah,
persons
you're
or
again
healthier persons,
presupposing that
then
it
we'll
is a
do it.
bad thing to be
Okay, yeah,
gay, and
true.
your only
I presuppose it.
justification is just circular. Like, it is bad because it harms people, because it is not good for people. Like, I don't understand why. Sure, forcing everyone to be gay if they are not would be harmful. Forcing everyone to be straight if they are not would be harmful. So I don't understand why your problem is just gay is bad
Okay,
because bad.
no, it's not a secular argument if you get it right. I'm using one simple. You asked me to justify how I can justify why gay is bad. Now
Mm-hmm.
the argument I present is I use one metric. I believe if something is, and this you can debunk the metric if you want. You can address the metric. I believe if something is a good and virtuous, if you project it on the whole world, it's going to produce a good outcome, a better
And I'm
outcome for the
claiming
whole
it's
world.
amoral.
Okay, I mean, if it's amoral and you project it on the even if it's amoral as you want, if you project it on the world, right, on the most people in the world, if it produces an adverse outcome, then I think there's a problem with that thing, even if it's amoral. Let me give you. I mean, it's the same
No,
thing with we can.
no, I'm gonna disagree with you here, because the whole point of saying that something is amoral, it it
It doesn't
means
have
that
any moral virtue.
it means that there's neither an ought nor ought not to that behavior. So it's not saying that you ought to do this thing or that you ought not to do this thing. It should be up to the people. And again, that situation is going to change based on the person, because if they are gay, then they ought to be able to live authentically as gay. If they are not, then it would be harmful to force them to be gay. Sure, but the same goes with heterosexuality. For people who are heterosexual, it's fine for them to live heterosexual. If they are not heterosexual, forcing them to be would be harmful to them. So by that exact same metric that you are using for homosexuality, I could say that heterosexuality would also not be good. It's not a good metric for
Can I
measuring.
ask a question?
Yep.
All right. Do you think only moral issues or moral issue? Do you think only moral issues has to do with ought and ought not?
I think when we're saying whether something is good or bad, we are implicitly saying whether we think that people ought or ought not do them.
True, I agree with you, but I'm asking, do you think only moral issues has to do with ought and ought not? Amoral things don't have to do with ought and ought not.
I think if you're saying something is amoral, you are saying that it's neither ought nor ought not.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How about things which are edible and not edible? Do you think there are certain things which you ought to eat and there are certain things which you ought not to eat? But is edible, are those things do they have any moral imperatives? The things you ought to eat, does it have any moral imperative?
I'm not sure about
Or
things you ought to eat, but I do think there are things you ought not eat because they would cause damage to yourself.
exactly, but then these are no moral. Those things have no moral. Like whether you eat them or not, it's by
Well,
themselves
if
are
it's
not
ought
moral.
not, then that would make it bad to eat. It's
But
not the
that's not.
food itself that is immoral, it is the act of eating it and therefore causing that damage to yourself that would be immoral.
So that makes it immoral.
Yes.
So you see somebody eating something which you think is bad for their stomach. You see they're doing something immoral. You
I
can
don't mean
describe it
something
as
that
doing
is
something.
bad for their stomach. You said edible or inedible. If someone's trying to eat something inedible, that's a completely different story.
I mean, it doesn't. It can. Maybe I'm using the wrong word also, to say non-edible, right? Because there are things which they are edible, but then you ought not to eat them. Maybe let's say grass. Grass is edible. You can actually chew grass and swallow it. It's going to go down, but it's not something you ought to eat, right? But maybe something like stone is something which is non-edible. But grass is something which you can actually do. You can eat it, but it's something you ought not to eat, right?
If there's not like observable harm, then I wouldn't consider it to be inedible. Oh fuck. My headphones just died. Fuck. Give me a sec.
All right.
Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, I can get you.
Okay. Hopefully there's not too much echo. Yeah, my headphones just died. Great. Well, the audio might be shitty on my part for a while with an echo. We'll see. So I'll finish out this call and then I'll call it. If it is something that causes like demonstrable damage, then I would say that would be considered inedible, and you ought not eat it because it would cause like observable damage to your body. Now, there's nuance there, because does that mean that there's like a moral imperative to only eat the like factually ideal diet? Well, no, because there's more aspects to food than simply its nutrition. So you could argue like, well, if you are a person who like values happiness or the experience of eating certain foods rather than solely its nutritional value, then you might more value the experience of eating rather than just the nutritional content of the food itself. But if it is specifically something that causes like observable damage to your body, then you ought not eat it because it would absolutely cause that harm.
And so if you find somebody eating, you can describe it as though they are doing something immoral.
If you eat something that is inedible that you know will cause damage to your body, then I would say that is inedible, and I would say it is immoral to like deliberately eat something knowing it will harm your body because it is not edible.
So in other words, you're saying things which are edible fall in the moral framework. Like, so if you're eating the right things, then you're doing something moral.
Repeat that.
If you're characterizing non-edible things that are being eaten that act as immoral stuff, then in other words, you're also saying that on the flip side, you're saying that the things which are edible and you're actually eating the things which are edible and right to eat, then you're actually doing something which is moral.
No, because again, there's nuance there. It is immoral to eat something that deliberately causes damage to your body. I don't think that
And moral to eat things which are beneficial to your body.
But that's where I introduced that nuance of it depends on the person's personal values as well. Because if they are a person who it would improve their well-being more to have the good experience of eating certain foods, then there's not necessarily that moral imperative to only eat the most nutritious foods for them because they value things other than solely the nutrition. But if it is something that causes like if it is fucking drain cleaner and they're like, I'm gonna drink this drain cleaner, that's gonna shut your body down. Yeah, I think it would be immoral to deliberately drink that and damage your body.
Okay, so in other words, there's a side of eating which you can characterize as has a moral imperative, and there's a side of eating which it's not moral. It doesn't have any moral imperative. Is that the case?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So anyway, the point I was trying to bring, why I brought this is eating and edibility up is, even if you go on either side of it, right, you're still gonna find this ought to and ought not to, or better and worse, right? This dimension of whether something is optimal or non-optimal or worse off for your body, or something is better or worse. So the same thing with, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something that has more imperative to it. The same thing, if you want to see being gay as that, it's still possible to have it in the ought and ought not classification, right? Okay, people ought not to be in this way because when society is going to be more degraded if people go towards this, more people or most people go towards this trajectory, right? If it's possible to make this characterization just by projection. That's why I was asking.
Why is it harmful?
Why is it harmful? Okay, simple. First, the reason it's going to be, if you project it on most people, it's going to be harmful is because if you have more gay people, or most gay people in the world, definitely birth rate is going to go down, right?
I don't think we have a moral imperative to reproduce.
Okay, but again, societally and economically and every other metrics, how the world works requires that we reproduce, right?
By that logic, we would have to, like there would be a moral imperative for everyone to reproduce as much as possible. And that you should be taking actions specifically to reproduce. But if people don't want kids, it would be immoral to force them to have and care for children.
True, but if most people choose not to have kids, then they become concerning, right?
They what?
If most people then begins to choose not to have kids, maybe through their way of life or the choices they make, they choose not to have kids, it should be a cause of concern, right? Because birth rate is definitely going to...
It probably indicates that there's something wrong with the within the environment that they're living in, but it could just be that people just don't want to have children. I don't want to have kids. That's
I'm not
just
denying. I don't.
not something I'm interested in doing. But also, there are a lot of gay couples who adopt and care for children who are abandoned by heterosexual couples.
Who
So
were
if
born by heterosexuals, right?
yes, that's why I said they were abandoned by them.
But they were born by heterosexuals.
And they were abandoned by them.
Anyway, I mean, it's something which again,
Well, they pushed it out of their
either
birth canal, so it doesn't matter that they left him behind. Like, oh, okay. Like there's
either
this concept in evolutionary biology of altruistic behaviors among animal species, and we see homosexual behavior in over 1,000 different animal species. And we see them exhibit this altruistic behavior that is taking care of the young that have been abandoned by heterosexual couples. So homosexual couplings in literally over 1,000 different animal species care for the abandoned young. So they do serve an evolutionary purpose. Now, again, you're kind of going off of the, like, oh, well, if 100% of people were gay, which is, again, you're taking it to an extreme that no one is advocating for. What I'm saying is that people ought to be able to live authentically to their sexuality. So not forcing everyone to be straight, not forcing everyone to be gay, but allowing people to live authentically, not forcing them to be something that they're not. That doesn't mean that everybody should be gay or everybody should be straight. And that's a misconception that you keep repeating by saying, well, if everyone were homosexual, it would be bad. And you don't have to say that something must be done by everyone to be good. Because there are obviously situations where, like, if the giving to charity thing, if there's someone who is unhoused, who is living on the street, and they don't give their money to charity, that's not bad. If they were forced to give whatever earnings they had to a charity when they could have used it themselves, that would be harmful. So you could say that because it's not universally good to give money to charity, then it's not good to give money to charity. That's not how we make moral determinations.
do you think incest is right?
Crazy pivot.
No, it's just a quick question. I'm just asking. Like, do you think it is okay?
No.
So if somebody, but do you think there are people who have that natural desire, or the people who feel the urge to want to have those kinds of relationship in the world?
Yeah, so I appreciate the pivot that you're trying to pull here. There is demonstrable harm with incest, primarily because in almost every situation there is a harmful power dynamic, which means that it is impossible for the relationship to genuinely be consensual. There's also the psychological toll that it takes on them and the people around them. There's also the biological harm that can come to the offspring of an incestuous relationship. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about gay people being in consensual, loving relationships between adults.
The reason this matters is because the reason why you're saying gay is not bad. Also, we can use that to justify something like incest too, right? Because if you say people should be left to express their sexual desires, I mean, there are other people too who want to have consensual incest relationship.
My contentions that I had with incest, do you disagree with my contentions?
I have a critique of your contentions.
I would like to hear you critique those, because
Okay.
the contentions that I said, none of them apply to homosexuality.
The first critique is that you said usually there's a power strife, right? And I don't think that's the case in every incest relationship. Some of them are.
Well, I didn't say every. That's why I said most of them are, and many of them.
Okay, again, then we still have some of them which both of them there's a consent there, right? So does that make it right if there's both party consent? Does that make it right?
Again, there's also the biological aspect of the damage that it could do to offspring, and there's the psychological damage that could be done to the people and the people around them.
Okay, with the biological damage which you're saying, this is something which we come to know it based on science and technology. Does it mean before we knew these biological implications of it or consequences
of it? But we do
know
know those things now.
I agree that we know them, but do you think it was okay before we knew them? Do you think the incest relationship perfect? Was
What?
something okay before we knew this? If in places where we don't know it, they don't know it. You think it's okay there?
That's like asking me if slavery was okay before we considered like people of all races to be people. That it's just a nonsense question.
It's not a nonsense. Okay,
It
let me
doesn't make it
rephrase.
okay. It recontextualizes the decision of the people at the time to engage in that behavior, but it doesn't make it okay.
Exactly right. So it means biology itself is not what makes it okay. There's something beyond the biology which makes it not okay, right?
What?
You're agreeing with me that there's something. You gave reasons why you think it's not okay, and biology was one of them. That's what now you're
Well, I
saying
said it
that.
was still not okay. So it's
Okay,
not
so
dependent on
biology.
whether or not they had knowledge of it. It is dependent on the problems that it would cause the offspring.
Okay, again, that's what I'm saying. The problems which will cause the offspring is something which we have come to know, right?
And I told
Or let's
you,
assume
their
it doesn't even
ignorance
cause
of
any
the
problem.
fact doesn't make it okay. It just recontextualizes those people's decisions to partake in it. That again does not mean that it was a moral action.
Okay, again, I don't even if with the argument which you're making about biology, I don't think only incest relationship bring about certain consequential issues with offsprings. Absolutely not.
And
In
we'd
fact,
have restrictions on certain things that, like, if people are on like Accutane, they have to be on a form of birth control if they're on tretinoin, because we know it causes severe fetal defects. So if you are on tretinoin in the United States, you have to prove that you are consistently using some reliable form of birth control, typically the pill, because we recognize the harm that this causes. So we recognize that sometimes actions should be taken to prevent harm to offspring.
okay, but again, that really the harm in the offspring doesn't really define whether you're having is right or not right. I'll give you an example. In Africa, there's what they call there's this. It's not popular in the temperate parts, but in tropical zones, it's common there. There's what they call how do you call this genetic issues that has to do with genotype, yeah, genotype issue. So we have XX, SS, sickle cell, yeah, sickle cell, which is something which a disease that's supposedly come from the offsprings of both carriers. Like if two carriers marry or have an offspring, but again, you wouldn't say just because they are they are both carriers, it becomes immoral for them or it becomes wrong for them to be together. I mean, I don't see any issue why it is wrong for them to be together, unless they by themselves just want to be mindful about their offspring, but it's not something wrong for them to be together, right? Because then I don't know. Let me not be insinuating. What's your thoughts? Do you think it's a strong it's a strong reason why, or maybe moral reason why people with the same genotype, carrier genotype of sickle cell should not be together, or you think it's okay, but just out of the concern of their offspring, they shouldn't be together? I don't know if what I'm asking really is clear enough for you.
Yeah, it's crazy how many times you've pivoted, because we went from like talking about whether or not like being gay is an amoral, moral, or immoral action, and then you changed it to be about incest, and now you're changing it to be about sickle cell. It's why can we not stay on the plot? Why do you keep having to introduce these like little side quests in the conversation? Because you've yet to demonstrate why you think homosexuality is actually harmful.
All right. Again, when you say how when you're using those kind of terms,
Yeah.
hard terms, it's difficult to it's that's when I begin to introduce new way to think about it, right? Because when you say harmful, I don't know if harmful is saying somebody's being hurt, or harmful is saying there's a adverse consequence to society if this happens. So how you when you start using those hard terms, I don't know how you're using them, because harmful may mean somebody is being hurt physically. Harmful may also mean that somebody is being hurt emotionally. Harmful may also mean that it has an adverse outcome on society or
Demonstrate any of those to
society
be
around
true.
them. Okay, now I've demonstrated that society, if we have a society, a functioning society will require that we have procreation. A good functioning society, robust
And no
society,
one's saying
economically viable
everyone
society
no
should
one's
have
saying
procreation.
everyone has to be gay. That has never been an argument that is being made that everyone should be forced to be homosexual.
Okay, but if you have a society where everyone is trending towards being gay, do you think that is okay?
Yes, it's
Okay,
okay.
okay, exactly. If you think it's okay, then it becomes then now becomes a problem with procreation, right? If most people in the society becomes gay, there's a problem with procreation. Agree?
But you're confusing. When I say it's okay, that doesn't mean that I think it must happen.
Again, we are this
It's again
hypothetically.
about
We are trying to
it's about
just
people being able to express and authentically live their sexualities. I think it would also be harmful if we forced people who are not heterosexual to be heterosexual. That would
you say it's gonna
also
be
be
harm is
harmful.
okay, how is it gonna be harmful?
Because that person is going to be living an inauthentic life. They're not going to get to like properly live in their identity. As someone who was closeted for a while, I can tell you it's not a pleasant experience to have to like hide away your true self, to not be able to pursue some of the relationships that you want to pursue. Um, it's not a pleasant experience.
Okay, great. So your reason why you think it's gonna be harmful is because people will not be able to express their true self. I get it right, right?
Well, it was a little more nuanced than that.
Okay, then make it clearer if I didn't get it right. Just I mean, if you can want to rephrase it also, I'll appreciate.
Yeah, so it was also the fact that you're like having to hide away that aspect of yourself that you are not able to pursue some of the relationships that you might want to pursue. And I would also add in that generally there's like social stigma as well that becomes a problem, because if you are growing up in an environment that doesn't want people to be gay, and an environment where everyone is forced to present as heterosexual would be that environment, you feel as if there is a part of you that is wrong or broken. You feel as if this aspect of you is just like inherently bad, because it is so heavily discouraged by society. Or in this case, in this hypothetical, prohibited.
Can I, okay, I'll just to critique your point, right? But I'll approach it more as a form of a question. Do you think that there exists just this binary of heterosexuality or homosexuality
No, I'm
in
pansexual
sexuality?
myself.
Oh, okay. So it means there are varieties of sexual desires, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think every of those sexual desires people should be allowed, or people it's okay for everyone to express these sexual desires that they have?
If it is with consensual partners.
Great. So it means you will not have problem with incest, right?
I demonstrated why I didn't think incest was consensual.
Based off of this logic, I'm saying based on this logic,
And I
if the
demonstrated why I didn't think incest was consensual because of the power
okay, but
imbalance.
demonstrate to me how incest doesn't fit this your logic of sexual expression.
Because of the power dynamic aspect.
So in cases where there's no power dynamic, it's okay.
If there is no power dynamic aspect and there is no biological like possible harm to offspring.
Okay, so if you can possibly have offsprings who are okay, then it's okay.
Like I'll be real with you. If it's like two first cousins from completely different countries who have never met meet in a place where no family is around and no one even knows they're related and they happen to get in a relationship with each other, I don't think that's morally wrong. Not everyone does like a detailed DNA test of themselves. It's a possibility that we are like somewhat distantly related to anyone around us. Now, if you have knowledge of it and you're doing it like deliberately, that's a different situation. There is a power dynamic there at play. There is psychological toll that it will take on you and the family around you. But that's a different situation. And again, you're trying to use these like massive generalizations when I think there's like a lot of nuance to be introduced there.
In fact, with the case of biology, there are many incest relationship that they don't want to have children. They just want to have sexual fun and date. In fact, there was a story of this one. It was all over Africa. It was all over voice notes in WhatsApp in Africa. I think that was like 2015, 2016, where it was a radio show where a lady was having a sexual relationship with a daughter. A father. When the wife of the man found out, he went and she was so aggravated and went and discussed on the show, and they called the lady and was the child who was having this sexual relationship with the father, and they were asking this child, so they thought maybe the child was being coerced or something.
What the fuck
And
are
this
you
child
on?
boldly says she liked the relationship. She want to have a relationship with the father. She
Fam,
want to enjoy what the mother is
fam,
enjoying.
you're
Yes.
comparing apples to oranges.
It's not. These are desires, right? You were
No, a
exalting. You
parent-child
exalt.
dynamic would be that power imbalance that makes it non-consensual.
Hold on. So you mean to tell me there can never be a father and daughter relationship that is consensual? They can never be.
If it is knowing, no.
Uh, I mean, the reason why I feel like you probably you don't have a good perspective of how the world works is because there are people who do all kinds of crazy atrocities and people who have crazy fantasies, and I don't understand how you can it's difficult for you to grasp this. There are people who have crazy fantasies. It's not just all about men, even women to have crazy
Okay, that's
fantasies.
still not. So this just shows that you have a fundamental lack of understanding for how consent works. If there is a power dynamic where one person has a significant amount of power over the other, and is able to like groom that person, and or is able to groom that person, it is not a consensual relationship. Like, for example, if a teacher goes to a student and is like, hey, I'll give you an A in my class if you perform this sexual favor, that's not consensual.
Okay, I agree with you that that's not consensual, but I don't think you should generalize a particular situation that every case in that situation is not consensual.
Well, I said if
That's
they are
preposterous to
knowing.
do.
If it is a father-daughter relationship where they are aware that they are father and daughter, then it is not consensual because there is a
Why
power
is it by
dynamic.
definition not consensual?
Sorry?
Why would you by definition classify it as not consensual?
Yeah, because again, if one has that power to groom the other or to assert power over the other, that causes an imbalance. It's not a consensual relationship. So consent is supposed to be freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific. I would argue that if they are in a position where they can be groomed by a person, that's not really properly informed or freely given consent.
Oh, okay. So how about siblings? Do you think that ever happens, like where siblings are having some type of sexual affairs? Do you think that happens in the world? I don't know of any story of
The
that. But do you think that
goalpost
happens?
keeps fucking moving with you.
It's not
fam.
moving. This is. I'm just trying
sick
to
of
show
the
how
fucking
people have.
pro incest shit. It's so weird how you
No,
seem to have more of a problem with queer people than with incest. Because you
I
keep
have
trying
problem with. I
you
have
keep
problem
trying
with.
to come up with ways to excuse incest while also condemning homosexuality.
I'm not excusing incest. Incest is in the same classification as
You
homosexuality.
no,
You are trying
you
to
are
separate them.
excusing incest because you're like,
I'm not.
well,
I'm not. They're in
what
the
if
same.
what if
I,
what if they have this
I'm
type of relationship or what if they have this type of relationship or
okay.
maybe it's like this. You can't say that's not consensual. Yes, I fucking
Exactly.
can because it's not consensual.
I have a big problem with incest the same way I have a big problem with homosexuality. And you are trying to say, well, these are two separate things, and one is to be condemned, one is okay. Which that's what I'm trying to unite both of them. These are all desires which are horrible.
Yeah,
Are
and
also both
it
desires.
comes down to consent.
So it comes down to consent. They shouldn't have problem when I bring up a scenario where consent is valid, right?
That wasn't valid
You should.
consent. The scenarios you brought up have not had valid consent.
Okay, you said there's a power struggle with father and daughter. I brought about siblings. Is there a power struggle with siblings?
Yes, usually yes.
Okay. Wow, this is interesting. So
Again,
is
if
there
it is knowing, yes,
is there grooming going on there?
probably.
between siblings
Yeah.
in every case?
Well, that I didn't. I specifically said not every case.
Okay, so it
But
means there are ones in which there's no
but if
power
they are
struggle. So does that make it
knowing,
okay
then probably.
in those ones? So in cases where there's no grooming and there's no power struggle, does that make it okay in those cases?
If they know, then there would be grooming.
What do you mean by if they know there'll be grooming? Come just
If they know that they are siblings.
then it's grooming.
Yeah.
How is it?
Yeah, because when we're talking about grooming, we're talking about influencing someone's behavior in a certain way, getting them to act a certain way that you want. That would be a dynamic that would be held between siblings that are attempting to have a sexual relationship. If any sort of effort is made to initiate a sexual relationship by the part of one sibling, that would be grooming.
Okay, I think every relationship begins with somebody initiating something and trying to persuade the other person, right? Even heterosexual, non-incest, every relationship begins that way. So why would you
Yeah, but that's
say,
ignoring the dynamic of them also being family members. That's why I said specifically if they know that they are siblings, because the dynamic of them being part of a family unit in addition to that grooming is what would make it problematic.
so
Because that does not mean that just anytime someone initiates a relationship with someone else that it is grooming, but in a specific situation where you have a family unit where these people are in close force proximity and one attempts to initiate a sexual relationship with the other, then yes, I would say that's grooming.
okay, great. Okay, let's go with that. This grooming and all of that is
Dude's
wrong.
doing
Okay,
everything he possibly fucking can to
okay,
defend
I agree.
incest.
Okay, let's assume that what you're saying is straight, right? So let's say there's this case where you have people having these desires.
You gotta be a
Do
fucking
you
fetish
think
for this guy.
how do you think society should address this situation where people have these desires and you think it's not okay to express this desire? Because now you're saying it's not okay to if you have an incest desire, it's not okay to express it. How do you think society should approach this?
How I think they should approach it? Well,
Should it be
there should be
encouraged or should it be discouraged? Let me be more.
well, if it is a non-consensual relationship due to power dynamics or like other factors, then yeah, I would say it should be discouraged. But again, you've yet to actually demonstrate harm about being gay. The only thing you've been able to say, and you've pivoted to like 20 different other things when you're just like obviously getting off to the idea of incest. You've yet to demonstrate why it is actually bad or harmful to be gay. The only thing that you've repeatedly said is that if everybody were forced to be gay, it would be bad. I agree, but I also agree if everybody were forced to be straight, it would be bad. So, the problem is not the sexuality itself, it is forcing people to conform to something that they are not. So, femme, instead of trying to pivot and ask me a billion questions about every possible fucking incestuous relationship dynamic that you can think of, for which, for some reason, you have a long list, can you please give me any evidence that there is demonstrable harm to someone for being gay?
Okay. When you say harm, are you saying physical harm?
I already fucking clarified this, femme. I'm not doing this again with you.
Okay. I think being homosexual is harmful to society. It's harmful to society in general, and
Go
it should be
on.
classified under moral degeneracy.
Why? Okay, so moral degeneracy would mean because it's wrong. So you're saying it's wrong because it's wrong.
I'm saying it's wrong. It's not harmful, but it's wrong. It's not harmful. It's not hurting anyone, but it's wrong. In fact, people find pleasure in it, but it's wrong. So people who express it find pleasure in
Why
expressing
is it
it.
wrong?
Okay, the reason why I said why it was wrong is because first, if it's okay that every desire that everyone has should not be encouraged,
I'm not
then
saying
there's
every desire everyone has. What I'm claiming is consensual relationships between homosexual adults is fine.
but you're not okay with consensual relationship between other kinds of relationship,
It's
right?
because it's not consensual, and I demonstrated it to you
You
with
can't
so
unequivocally
much
say every
fucking
case in it is
nuance. With so much nuance why it's not consensual, which you can't seem to grasp. But again, the only thing that you've been able to say is that you think it's harmful because you think it's bad. You haven't demonstrated why it is something that ought to be discouraged. The only reason you say it ought to be discouraged is because it's bad. You're on a loop because you keep saying that, well, not everything should be encouraged. Tell me why this specifically should not be encouraged. If you go on this loop again, I'm fucking done with this conversation. I'm letting you go.
all right. Let me give this. I'll probably leave it soon. Let me just give this reason why I think it's bad. I attended a single sex school for my high school, right, in Africa, in Cameroon, and there I saw how that people who probably, and in fact there was a gay guy asking me out, right? It has never even cut across my mind that I'm even gay or something like that. But the guy was asking me, and I didn't even realize he was asking me out until this guy had an issue for this same particular thing. Then I realized, oh, probably this guy was asking me out at that point. But what I want to say is, there in this boarding school where we had people who were having this gay tendency, pressing on kids, right? Young kids who probably were naive and don't really know much
I'm sorry,
about
hold
life,
on. A
sexuality.
fellow student asked you
Yes,
out?
fellow student. It was a boarding school. Yes, a fellow student was asking me out on
So
something. But I
your
didn't.
problem is that one time a boy had a crush on you.
Which is the problem. The problem is not the fact that he had a crush on me. The problem is that he can have an ability to influence me, and he can have an ability to influence, especially naive people. Let me put it that way.
He's
Naive
another
people.
student. He has just as much influence as you have on him.
Okay, but again, now I was referring to how also that there's a power dynamic in it, because where in my school we had senior students pressing on junior students who were somewhat naive and don't even have any clue of sexuality. Do you think? I don't think that is okay. And if you have a situation where
So
these
your
kind of things
problem
are
is not,
happening,
that's not homosexuality being a problem. That's grooming of any sexuality being a problem. And if you think that that doesn't happen with heterosexual kids in schools that have like co-ed student bodies, then you're out of your goddamn mind. Tons of senior boys hit on young girls in high schools. It happens constantly. The problem is not their sexuality. The problem is if they're trying to assert pressure on someone younger than them or trying to groom someone younger than them. That is not the fault of the sexuality itself. It's a problem of predatory behavior, and that predatory behavior is not specific to any sexuality.
so it's both heterosexual and LGBTQ.
Yeah, it can be any sexual. There can be predatory people in any sexuality.
Okay, but again, I can grant that. Okay, that's why I'm going. This is where I'm going with this argument. I grant that. But where I'm going to with this argument is that in a society where that's why I was pushing for you, that if the most people become gay, it's gonna have an adverse impact on society in general, which in that sense I'm classifying it harmful to society, right? I'm saying it's harmful to society because it's gonna have an adverse impact on
But
society. Anything that has an adverse
you've
impact on
yet to
society.
demonstrate why it has an adverse
One,
impact on
I
society.
did. I said, first of all, it's going to cut down on procreation, and procreation being cut down is harmful even to the economy. There are many economies which are crumbling simply
Okay,
because
no,
they don't
it's
have enough
not.
people
Hold on.
or
If
young
you
people.
forced everyone to be gay, yes, it would affect procreation. If you allow everyone to be the sexuality they already are, that's not going to impact procreation. Because what
But
you're
if everyone
suggesting is
is
instead
okay,
forcing gay people to live as if they are straight for the purpose of reproduction.
I didn't say I'm forcing. I'm saying if everyone is going down the trajectory, or most people are going down it freely. I didn't say if they are freely going down that trajectory of being gay, it's still going to be a problem for society, right?
No, because
Why not?
people
Because you
are
have the same
gay.
procreation.
People are gay. That's something that you just have to come to terms with. That's not something that's going away. So the only thing that you could possibly be proposing is forcing people who are gay to live as if they are not. And that is
Do
harmful
you
in itself.
do you think there's also
There is
coercion going the other way around? People
sorry?
who are not gay. Do you think there's also coercion going the other way around? People who are not gay being coerced to become gay?
I don't think a significant amount, no. I think there's far more coercion for people who are gay to pretend they're not.
Okay, but again, okay. With that, right? Let's say
Let me ask you this. Where is it illegal to be heterosexual?
it's not, because that's no mercy. That's
You
no
just made
mercy.
my
That's
point so well.
Yeah, that's no mercy.
And
It's still
where is
abnormal.
it
Or
and where is it illegal to be gay?
many places it's illegal because
Yeah.
they know the implications it can have on
So there's
society.
a lot. So that in itself is
Yeah.
evidence of legislation in particular being used to force people who are gay to live as if they are not. So that right there demonstrates that there's not a significant amount of forcing people to be gay when they're not. In fact, it's the other way around, because nowhere on earth are you going to be prosecuted by legislation for being heterosexual.
Okay, I'm saying that is it hypothetically, if keeping legislation aside, is it also possible that people can be coerced the other way around? That's what I was asking you. I wasn't saying that
Is
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 this the
it
case.
possible?
It's not.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there significant evidence to suggest that that is happening? No. Would it be more than we see people who are gay being forced to act as if they are straight? Absolutely not. So I don't think it's fair to try to use this as something to say that like it could be, because like could there be some instance in which someone tries to coerce someone to act as if they're gay when they're not? Sure. I'm not sure what the advantages of that would be, because again, there's many countries where it's illegal to be gay but none where it's illegal to be straight, so they're much more likely to have negative consequences for appearing to be gay than not. So it's unlikely that that would happen, but not impossible. Whereas we have a lot of demonstrable evidence that people who are gay are being forced to act as if they are not.
I grant that. I grant that. True, but hypothetically, now I'm saying hypothetically, right?
I
People can
said it
also be
hypothetically could happen, but it's not likely, and it's certainly not significant or more than the amount the inverse happens.
okay. Just one last question. I think maybe we have been dragging this for quite a while and going around the same cycle. But let me ask you this, right? Which do you think is Which do you think is harmful for society? People being forced to be gay, whereas they are not gay. Again, I'm not saying that it is happening. I'm just saying that if society were to go this path, people who are not gay are forced to be gay, or people who are not heterosexual are forced to be sexual. Which do you think will have more harm to society?
I'm
And
going
how?
to
What would be the harm?
reiterate that the
What would be the
harm
harm?
specifically comes from forcing people to behave in a way that is not authentic to themselves, for forcing people into a sexuality that they are not. That is what the harm stems from, and you have failed to demonstrate any other way in which you think that homosexuality is harmful, other than it would be bad if everyone were forced to be gay. So again, the harm is in forcing people to be what they are not. And I don't know how many times I need to say that to get it through to you, Fem. But it's very, very clear that you have a lot of homophobia to work through. I hope you sit down and do some thinking as to why you spent half an hour defending incest, and the other half hour upset because a boy asked you out one time.
Stop caricaturing my
Have an
position.
evening. You don't get the last word. Fuck you. Well, that was an experience that we just all went on. Thank you all for bearing with me through that. Poof. Got a lot to work through, that guy. It is over, Phantom Rick. It's finally over. You're free. I just the people who are willing to, like, they were really going to bat for incest there. Just that upset because a boy asked him out one time, not able to demonstrate a single way that it's like actually harmful other than saying, well, if we forced everyone to convert to it, it would be bad. Well, yeah, forced conversion to anything is going to be bad. Fem. Thank you all. It is almost 1 a.m. and I gotta get up for work at 6. Someone asks, how big is my dick? Ask your mom. She would be able to answer that better than me. So I am going to call it a night for tonight. I should be back on tomorrow. I'm also going to have a call screener, so calls should be open for YouTube as well as TikTok. I appreciate you all being here. Is there anyone on right now that we can go bother? Yeah, let's go see Lobes. Lobes the Absurdists. We'll go over, give him a hey. Yeah, call screener and headphone charger. Yeah, that's my bad. I fucked that up. I really beefed that. I do have, I have a couple of, super chats I need to read first. So we got 2 from Gabrielle, for the wellness fund, which I'll have to dip in after this call. If you haven't started one, you should. And for the headache medicine, P.S. You're awesome. Well, thank you, Gabrielle. I think you are awesome as well. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like take a Midol after that or something. Because that was something, wasn't it? If you're not already following or subscribed, you should be. If you're not a part of the Discord, you should be. Go over and tell Lobes hey for me, and I will see you all tomorrow night. Bye! That was TikTok's goodbye. YouTube, you get a separate one because you're special. Prayers incoming and you can't stop me. Alright, if you're an adult, someone in